The college football experience week 9 preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up. And when you do, sign up with that promo code TCE SGPN. You get 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Welcome to the college football experience week 9 preview picks, all that good stuff. We are finally here, and I apologize to the good people. They wanted that weekday pick show, and I've been moving. There's nothing worse. Let's talk about this. Where does moving fall on okay, going to war would probably be worse, but there's not much.
Probably.
There's not much. Yeah, probably. Depends what war. Cold War didn't really have many casualties, NC Nick. So, it depends which war we're talking here. We're going to talk more about war in a minute here as we got a loaded college football slate. And I'm at a double tree. Nothing like a good old double tree.
I'm at the Hill Garden Inn, so we're pretty similar.
Oh, there we go. We're just scattered around. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
They make them different in Colombia. They really do. Like when you pour, it's weird. They have this thing that stops it, measures a shot. Anyway, I'm not in Colombia.
They take their drinking seriously.
They do. Shout out to all the great Colombians out there. I see Patty C's triple fisted, and that's good. We are also joined by in Santa Monica, California, believe it or not. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Up.
Let's go.
Yeah, boy.
Let's go.
Cheers to all you good people out there.
Cheers to the fan base that's about to be pissed on, because it's happening. We are also joined by a third man in the booth, who I think is somewhere in Maryland. Give it up for former. No, I can't do that, dear. The rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, Tobacco Road living, the free lock giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's going on, guys? I see Tyler from Spartanburg's in the chat. All right. He's probably happy with that one these days.
Let's go.
And celebrities. That's bigger than we are. Yeah.
This song is just great.
Cheers, gentlemen.
How you guys doing? I haven't had a chance to. Me and Patty C obviously got blitzkrieged with some cocktails and some steaks in the office at the SGPN studios. But NC Nick, you haven't had a chance to hop on these very airwaves and react to a wild week. Curious your thoughts from the week prior.
Well, most importantly, Duke has gone over 5.5. Duke
Unbelievable.
is going bowling, and Duke has beaten
Unbelievable.
Florida State for the first time in their existence. So that started the week off right, at least.
Yes, I mean, look, they could lose out. That's a win for the first season of Manny Diaz.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And the schedule gets pretty tough here. So I still don't think they're a very good team, but hey, the defense is good at least, and they're winning close games against bad teams. But I was saying in the chat that the fact that Florida State sucks so bad is by far the most enjoyable thing about this season. and it's the gift that keeps on giving every weekend, basically. And I think Miami's going to open up a can on them this week. So other than that, I mean, yeah, there's Georgia, Texas. There were some crazy ass calls. There was some, I think overall, I think betting wise, between betting, DFS, props, I think it was down $7 on the week. So it wasn't great from a betting standpoint, but it was a wild weekend.
Tough week for both of us too.
No, it was I think the worst week percentage wise for me all year, but still always great to see the Texas Longhorns get their ass whooped. Yes. Anyway, look, shout out. We got Kirk Ferentz in the chat. We got Tony C. Tony C, longtime listener, hell of a good guy. He says nothing but meth, booze, and guns in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
What kind of town?
And shout out to Kirk Ferentz. You guys Kirk, you cost me. All right. Now we can still hit that win total over, but you cost me. I love 3802 because I can't tell what's going to go out with fail first, the DoubleTree internet connection or Colby's kidneys. That's true. That's true. Although I did have Patty C ask me in the studio on Saturday, hey dude, where are your kidneys located?
My kidney, I think, is swollen. It was aching on Saturday.
So you should know where it's located then.
I just
hey
wanted to
dude,
make sure.
It's the pain. Wherever the pain is.
Well, my gut is also swollen, so that could be it. But it might be the kidney. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Not to jinx, but so far so good.
I don't get.
Yeah, the connection. Well, I paid up. That's paid up. I said you keep your fucking cookies when I check in. I'll pay up. All right.
Well, I mean, especially with both of us coming from hotels, I mean, it's a crapshoot. So far so good. Cross your fingers, guys.
What news? I mean, we got firings. Oh, folks. Let me tell you something.
A long time coming.
That's what the shot's for.
There was nothing that we couldn't do. We set out
To defend our name and fire Mike Houston. Oh, Mike Houston is fired from the East Carolina Pirates, and let me tell you, all is right in the world again. Yeah, that was a horrible performance. I'm glad he got fired. I'm glad that my strong donation to the Boneyard NIL Collective had something to do with this firing. All right. When I threatened to never get drunk in Greenville ever again, they were like, whoa, our economy is going to hit the shits here. So let's act on this Pick Dundee bastard. And he's gone. He's out of there. There's talk of, I mean, I've seen some lists with Skip Holtz possibly returning. I've seen some with, drawing a blank on the LSU's offensive coordinator position, but he's an ECU grad and played under Skip Holtz at ECU. He threw one pass in college for 5 yards and completed it. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Anyway, also
ECU's OC right now, you said?
No, LSU's OC is an ECU grad that played under Skip Holtz and completed one pass for 5 yards. But also, I've heard Garrett Riley's name mentioned. I've heard Rich Rod's name mentioned.
Rich Rod at ECU would be fun. It really would.
It would work. And that would definitely be a step up from Jacksonville State.
You know a surprising name that I heard? Dave Clawson.
I guess.
And I heard he would potentially be interested because of the ECU NIL collective being so much better than Wake Forest.
And this might be an interesting move.
Yeah.
I don't think any active coach of the ACC has ever taken a job at a lower conference, so that would be a big blow to Wake Forest. But
I would argue
struggled the last couple years. I mean, maybe
I would argue that the ACC is trying to mimic the American Conference with how spread out they are across the country,
or every other conference in the country.
But yeah, I mean, it's a long time coming. I've been drinking all week because it's so exciting that we can still make a bowl without that pile of shit. Watch our special teams moving forward, right? They're going to give some random schmuck. They're going to give like the linebacker coach saying, "Hey dude, coach special teams." And watch, he's going to have a better clue on how to coach special teams than Mike Houston. So I'm very excited about that. We also saw Will Hall get fired at Southern Miss.
Before we move on from Mike Houston, can we just confirm with this that JMU is a better job than ECU? Because Mike Houston pretty much did he win a national championship there?
In the FCS. I mean, look.
I mean, I also think he beat ECU by like 20 straight up.
That was when Scotty Montgomery was there. We could pull back the clock. Didn't we play before that?
It's been
That's the potential. Steve Logan. All right. Steve Logan right there.
I can't hate on. You get that guy in there, you are going back to the glory years.
Let's go. He should be in charge of the hiring process as far as I'm concerned. Will Hall was fired from Southern Miss. There's problems. I think the common complaint on the message boards in Hattiesburg is lack of NIL, lack of resources. They blocked Brett Favre's blood money from coming in there. And just a really tough job, I think, there in Hattiesburg. But
I mean, do you want the money to go to like the poor people, or do you want it to go to the football program? I mean,
I always thought A plus B equals C, right? Like, if we help out the football program, then excitement, because you got to be excited. Then you'll go out and you'll feel that good about life.
Economy.
Yeah,
it's like trickle down economics, right?
Yeah, it's 100%.
Down to the South, that's a red state. They believe in that stuff.
Look, this is a simple one. I was funny. I was just I was checking in on a couple articles on who they thought, and they mentioned a bunch of different offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, and they said they lack resources. Well, guess who doesn't need money? This is a no-brainer, and I'm surprised none of them mentioned this. You know who doesn't need money? Because he got about a $20 million buyout. It's Ed Orgeron. This is a no-brainer. This is a fucking no-brainer. Yeah. You go out, you get Ed Orgeron there, Southern Mississippi, right up the road, right?
Who's been pushing for that? Is that GBO that's been pushing for that?
No, I've been pushing for that. He can speak the language. That's important to speak the language down there. It's just a no-brainer. I mean, what are we doing here if we're not considering Ed Orgeron? If you lack resources, he doesn't need the money. He just wants to coach football, maybe, which I know he's in South Beach, having sex with every other woman, but it just makes a lot of sense. Go Golden Eagles. That's right.
I dare say Ed Orgeron may be even more like quintessential Southern Mississippi than he is even Louisiana. I don't know if that's true because he is
Baton
basically
Rouge. No, Baton Rouge. I think you're right.
I mean, he's basically like a caricature of Southern Mississippi if I had to draw one up. But granted, that whole area, that whole region is kind of similar. I don't know. I don't see the French tie with Orgeron. That is part of the Louisiana culture. He just seems like Mr. Deep South.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't even understand what he says, but I'm a big fan. NC Nick, Southern Miss job. I mean, this was once like the original Boise State, as some say.
Or
in the 80s,
very similar to ECU.
Yes, but ECU has better funding. ECU has better funding, whereas I feel like Southern Miss is kind of one of these
state, a wealthier area. Sure.
Well, they got Vince McMahon making $8 million donations. You got, you just have what's my guy's name from the Golden Corral? Started the Golden Corral. You got a lot of options, right?
I don't know his name. Coach O sounds like a great fit. I mean, that sounds fantastic. I don't know if it's realistic, but it sounds fantastic. We need him back in college football. So I sign off on that.
Yeah. Also, Seth Littrell was fired as OC at Oklahoma, and Andy Ludwig stepped down at Utah, which was very interesting because he had previously turned down the Notre Dame OC position about a year and a half ago.
We got a guy in the chat who says he's in Hattiesburg. Dennis
Hattiesburg,
whatever.
Happy hour a little bit there.
I wonder what his feeling on that is.
I like Jimmy in the chat saying, "You're talking about Flavor Flav." Oh no, that's Red Lobster that he owns.
Every glorious chain should have a football team associated with it. A Southern football team. We got what? Hooters with Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina.
We got Golden Corral and Southern Miss. You're saying?
No, with ECU.
Oh, with ECU.
Golden Corral is ECU. Yeah.
What would UVA have, Patty C? Some like
UVA would have like Olive Garden or something.
No, they would not have Olive Garden.
Panera. They'd have Panera.
Yeah, they'd have like a vegan spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right. Well, look, folks, we're going to dive into the games. And sorry I didn't do the weekday picks episode yesterday. I'm in the middle of a move. If you can't tell, it's why I'm at a hotel here. But I want to tell you that the college football experience, well, first off, thanks for listening to us all these years or all these episodes or all these minutes. If you can head over to Spotify, you really do us a solid and give us a 5-star rating. We've learned that that's just a real boost. So please, if you can, even if you don't have Spotify, hop on over there. It takes 10 seconds out of your day. Only you can prevent corporate gambling from taking over. So hop on over there and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports. They got NFL, college football, CFL, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and much, much more. Boost Uber is upon us, which means you get a spooky amount of profit boost. I almost said processed boost, and much more. And with the NBA tipping off, every NBA pick entry is from all the way up until the 27th will be boosted. You can now use specials and boost on all flex entries as well. So what are you doing? Sign up. And when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back and we are at it. No slides because guess what? I've been moving shit all week. So start moving shit. You're not as interested in building slides for the show. So my apologies. They'll be back next week probably. If not,
Coley
the week
was
after.
Having some enjoyment last night. getting ready for the move.
Let me tell you, I needed that.
Varieties of life.
You look, if you're gonna well, no, Venice Beach, you got to explore the goods that Venice Beach give you for the last time. All right. So you get out there, you do that. Look, if you've been to Venice Beach, you know what I'm talking about. All right. And I'm not talking about living homeless, but that works too.
That is one of the joys of Venice Beach.
Yeah.
By the way, Oklahoma, can you believe that 128 nationally in total offense? I think I looked at it. I forget which one was which, but I think 114 and 116 respectively between passing and rushing offense. How the hell did Seth Littrell put that thing into the ground so fast?
I'm not going to blame him. Actually, I'm going to call bullshit here. I'm going to say Brent Venables deserves this because they sent Dylan Gabriel packing before they hired the OC, and they've had 5 wideouts. Their starting 5 wideouts are out. One of their tight ends is out, and they went out in the portal and brought in some shitty offensive linemen, right? And then they pulled the plug on Jackson Arnold really fast. So all of that equals a disaster. But I understand. You're the head coach, and you gotta keep the fan base checking in. So fire Seth Littrell. I'm just not buying that.
Fire somebody.
I'm just not buying that he was the problem.
I think I see the running back, the transfer, was it Tyree Walker? Is that his name? Crushing it for Wisconsin now too. So a lot of former Sooners have found homes elsewhere and are doing pretty good.
Yeah.
What was Seth Littrell's track record as a offensive coach? Obviously as a head coach, but how were his offenses?
Well, he was at Oklahoma prior with Bob Stoops back like 10 years ago before he went to North Texas.
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you gotta fire somebody just for the hell of it. You know what I mean?
Optics. Yeah.
We thought about doing it with you, buddy, but it was like, hey,
we're close. We're hanging on by a thread, Penn State.
You know what? I'll be fucking too hammered to even know it. So fuck you guys.
We're like the guy was asking me where his fucking kidneys were, right? Maybe we should fire the guy, right?
But the problem is then who's going to do the shotguns?
That's right. One of you guys is going to have to step up to the plate. I don't think you want that smoke.
Noah, you're young.
That's right.
Sam Houston just got on the board, the touchdown. I'm on Sam Houston tonight, and I'm also on the UTEP Miners with the points at 7-7 at halftime. Tomorrow, Wednesday night action. The Flamin' Libs of Liberty are heading to Kennesaw, Georgia, and I'll just start off with the lock. Kennesaw is fucking horrible. You should have never ditched the flex bone. And I'll lay the big number there with the Flamin' Libs. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Well, my problem. Well, first off, I mean, the games Wednesday night are kind of like tonight. They're not good games. We got some bad teams playing. I think both Kennesaw State and Middle Tennessee State are probably two of the bottom 5 teams in the country, at least bottom 10. The problem with Liberty is that they're coming off a bye, and then 3 weeks ago, App State canceled the game. So Liberty's played one football game in 30 days, which is insane. And I just don't think they're going to be firing on all cylinders. They haven't been firing on all cylinders all season long. I'm going to get a little bit cute here and take Kennesaw and the points. I think Liberty wins like 37-13 or something. And this barely doesn't cover. Give Kennesaw's awful. They can't score any points here. They're going to score like 10 or 13 points. So as long as they can limit Liberty to like the low 30s, which is a big ask, they might be able to cover.
Look, Liberty hasn't only played one game in a month. They've still seen more fireworks than Kennesaw's offense. They got Falwell jerking off in the corner. I'm sure that's been more excitement than anything out of Kennesaw, depending on who you ask. But Patty C, what are you doing here in old Kennesaw, Georgia?
Well, I got a tuck job for you, and we're going to have these early and often here. So Liberty hasn't really blown anyone out this year. They have been struggling to pull away.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
And like Nick said, an overtime win against FIU was their only game that they've played in the last month. That was at home. Of their 5 games so far, only one's been on the road. That was at New Mexico State. They only beat them by 6. Now, New Mexico State and I would say Kennesaw are pretty comparable. In fact, against the next best team in the Conference USA, which is Jacksonville State. Kennesaw lost to Jacksonville State by 49, and New Mexico State lost by 51. So Kennesaw, presumably based on that stat, roughly comparable, if not a little bit better. And so I think Liberty just hasn't been able to blow anyone out. So 25, is it 25.5?
Yeah.
No way. Give me Kennesaw.
Wow. Okay. Have fun. I'm going to stay chalk in the next one too, because Middle Tennessee is fucking horrible. And Rich Rod and Tyler huff. He's going to huff and puff and fucking dominate this Blue Raider bullshit defense. I am laying the 20.5 with Jacksonville State. I'll lock it up. NC Nick, what are you doing?
I like this one.
Alabama?
I like this favorite a lot better. I'll ride with you on Jacksonville State. I think their running game.
I do like it better too. This is the best play of the night.
No answer on defense for MTSU. One of the worst defenses in the nation. Jacksonville State continues to roll. Let's go.
Patty?
I have to agree. Jacksonville State, number 26 nationally offensively. Against good defenses, Middle Tennessee does give up a lot of points. Shoot, against not great offenses. Duke put 45 on them. So I think teams can easily score on Middle Tennessee, especially a Jacksonville State team that's gotten going. So, yeah, I think they'll cover this.
I'm not sure how I like you how you said Duke there.
Well, you said it yourself not 10 minutes ago that they don't have a good offense.
I said Duke there. You know?
I was complimenting them up until I realized that, hey, actually, they don't have a good offense. So, but yeah, I'll lock it with you, Cole.
There we go.
Yep, with a lock.
Triple lock, just like that. Where's my theme music? All right, give me my theme music. Here we go. Triple lock on Jacksonville State minus 20.5. Shout out to David Matola. It's a double tree, buddy. Double tree. But we'll leave the light on for you. All right. And speaking of Dukes, NC Nick, you haven't had a chance. I tried to bring you with me last week, NC Nick, but you were a coward. I said Georgia Southern is going to beat this JMU bullshit. They don't win at Statesboro. Go back to Cleveland. The Georgia Southern's catching 2 at ODU. Dangerous spot for these Eagles. And this is right around the time when Clay Helton's teams fall apart. So I will bet the Old Dominion Monarchs -2. There's a reason why they're favored, because why? I think most people would say, why the fuck they favored? This is why. Old Dominion wins. And by the way, I cashed on both these teams. I took Old Dominion on the money line against Texas State. Boom, that thing cashed a week ago. Call me a Sun Belt specialist because I feel like I'm taking that spot over from NC Nick. What are you doing here in Norfolk?
Well, JMU's funny. I mean, JMU either wins by like 4 touchdowns or they lose. I guess there's just no in between. I can't get a good read on them. But this is a battle between first and second place in the Sun Belt East, just like everybody expected, right? I'm going to go to you too. I think this, like you said, Colby, Helton, second half of the year or second half of the season, he always comes up short. ODU at home. Let's go.
Let's go. Patty C, you on board with the Virginia school? Of course you are.
I'm tempted. Spread here is what were we looking at? 2 at home, and ODU is favored. I find that a little surprising, just because Georgia Southern obviously has the better record, sitting there at 5-2 versus the 3-4 record. For I will say both of these teams have played far tougher schedules than I think most people realize. I think Georgia Southern, right off the bat, the close loss, I guess 11-point loss against against Boise rather, kind of impressive in hindsight. Overall, their body works pretty good. ODU, though, also more impressive than the record probably indicates, just because almost every one of their games is pretty tough. It's tough for me to take ODU here, but I think the spot, maybe it's a letdown. They're celebrating. They beat the Kings of the Sun Belt. Whether it doesn't matter that we haven't been crowned yet. So I'll go ODU with you guys.
The only thing on my mind, Gene, was pussy.
All right. I mean, I'm betting all these weekday games. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know if I'm touching this one. I'm touching the next one.
All right. Well, let's go to Acupuncture Stadium or some bullshit they're calling it now. Whatever. I like to call it Three Rivers. The Pitt Panthers, undefeated Pitt Panthers. Pat Narduzzi saying, "Fuck you, transfer portal. Take my team. I'll still go undefeated." Syracuse catching 6. Kyle Honda McCord coming into Acupuncture Stadium or whatever the fuck they're calling it. Look, Pitt's been a fun team this year. I Moneyline Matt, cover your ears. But I kind of hope they go undefeated. Right?
They're not going undefeated. Don't worry.
Yeah. I give me Q's in the points though, because they win every game close. Pitt does. So Pitt will be down 21 in the 4th and win by 2. So give me the Q's +6. I do think that +180 on the money line is an option here, but give me the Q's. I just think they're kind of equal teams now. Syracuse defense still a bit of a question mark for me. I do think Cade Bell can get this offense going against this defense. But meanwhile, I think Syracuse, though, their offense is pretty solid as well. So, NC Nick, what are you doing here in the Syracuse Pitt old Big East matchup?
I agree. I love Syracuse here. I've been looking to fade Pitt for a while now. I mean, they're just not as good as a 6-0 team should be. Here's a case where the bye week cools them off. This is not a good time when you're hot to have a bye week, and that's what they're coming off here. Syracuse is 2-0 ATS and 2-0 straight up as a dog this year. I think they definitely go to 3-0 ATS as a dog, and good chance they also go to 3-0 straight up as a dog, because I think they might beat Pitt, but they'll definitely cover, and I'll be betting this one. Lock it up.
Woo! Everyone is on cues. That is a bit concerning, but sometimes everyone's right.
I don't give a shit about everyone else.
Yeah. Patty C, what are you doing here? And Moneyline Mac is disgusted with this show after praising Pitt. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Pitt has dominated this series. 18 of the last 22 Pitt has won. Pretty even all time though. 43 to 32 in Pitt's favor. So good rivalry here. Like you said, going back to the Big East days, kind of identical teams. Pitt number 8 in the nation offense. Syracuse number 12. Pitt number 61 on defense. Syracuse number 64. So the over under is 60. Sorry, what is that? I missed
62 and a half.
62. I think that's about accurate. Just on that, I would say over, but I agree with you guys. I think 6 is too many points. I'll go Q's.
All right. Louisville, the Cods, fresh off of being robbed. Louisville fans slid into the old DMs. And they reminded me that they didn't just get robbed last week. They got robbed the week before against SMU when that fumble was overturned. I can't help but think they might have a great point here that as much as Miami's lucky, Louisville's the opposite of this. They just keep fucking over Louisville. Louisville's laying 7.5 in Chestnut Hill. Is it a get right spot? No, because they always struggle in Chestnut Hill. In fact, I will take the Boston College Eagles plus the 7.5. Just a sleepy spot, as NC Nick has said. This is one of the toughest road spots in the ACC, but for different reasons. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Chestnut Hill?
I agree again. I'm tired of betting and losing on Louisville like I've done the last 3 weeks, I believe. This is not as good of a Louisville team as it was last year. Even though they play almost every game close, and this is going to be another close game, I will take the points with the home dog. Let's go BC.
Patty C, what are you doing here in Chestnut Hill, Alumni Stadium?
I think the hook is scaring me away. Just because, I do think obviously Louisville will get the win even on the road. I think they're a much better team, but that hook is scaring me. Maybe that makes me a little biznatch, but it is what it is. It's daunting. As Kurt Signetti says, be undaunted, but I'm daunted by that hook.
Moving along, we got this is why the 12-team playoff is so much better for the fucking sport. Boise State heads to an empty stadium here. They actually will probably have the crowd, despite I thought Noah Beanick did a great job of showing what it was like at a UNLV game. YouTube.com/the college experience. That's what the crowd looks like in the background there of the Ashton Jeanty photo here. At that filthy Allegiant Stadium. They should go back to Sam Boyd. Boise State's laying 3 in Vegas. UNLV with a gutty win down at the second half comeback in Corvallis. Fun game. Boise's laying 3. I'm laying it because Boise, to me, that performance against Oregon sold me on this team. Also, I do think they'll have the crowd. Bunch of Boise people will take that trip down there. They won 44-20 at that filthy dome last season in the Mountain West Championship game. I think it happens again here. I will lay the 3, lock it up. Let's go. And I took UNLV last week, so I don't want to hear that I'm a UNLV hater. Took UNLV last week and it cashed. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Well, an absolutely massive game. Friday night
game. The winner is going to have, but UNLV's got what, 3 Power 5 wins, 3 Power 5, and the almost 4. They had an overtime loss to Syracuse, who could still win the ACC.
Let me ask you this: should they beat Boise twice, and then presumably both Army and Navy take a loss? Would UNLV kind of be the shoe-in for the Group of 5 for the playoff spot?
Buddy, I got news for you, and I love Army and Navy, but I actually think UNLV has a better resume, even if they beat Notre Dame.
If they're undefeated, though?
Yes. I'm saying UNLV.
They won't do it, though. They're not going to leave an undefeated Army or Navy out in place of a UNLV with a loss to Syracuse. Man, they may have better wins. If they beat Boise twice.
3 Power 5 wins and 2 Boise State wins?
Yeah, you're right. It would be a better resume.
Yeah. I'm all over this the boys from Boise though. What are you doing, Patty?
I'm with you. I'm with something happened with that offense that just seems to have, I guess you can't say it's faded in recent weeks. They're still hanging, 40, 41, 50, 33 points, but they've slipped down to, I want to say 41st nationally. Boise's still up at 4th overall in total offense. So, and both have pretty bad defenses down in the 80s. So expect a shootout here, but I think Boise wins by more than, what is it, 3?
Yeah. 3. NC Nick? Yep. What are you doing?
Well, you
here?
mentioned the Boise at Oregon game was impressive, even though it was a loss. I would also argue that the UNLV win over Oregon State last week was impressive, especially because there was a look-ahead spot in Corvallis. And the way to beat UNLV is through the air, not on the ground. UNLV actually has a top 20 rush defense. If they can just limit Ginty to like a pedestrian 120 or 150, then maybe they'll be able to slow Boise State down. I'm going to keep rolling with the home dogs on Friday night. Give me Vegas here. Let's go.
Woo. All right.
Malik Williams. I don't know if he's on the stat sheet yet, but I don't think he's qualified. But his passing percentage is still up near 80%, right? Or at least in the mid to high 70s.
He's a stud. He's a stud. But
yeah,
but Boise's used to these big games.
Yeah, two kind of hotshot stars playing football right now, so that'll be entertaining for a Friday night for sure.
All right, folks, want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by BetUS. Yes, bet with the best in the business. That is BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. What are you doing? Sign up and you deposit $100. You'll have a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. Get on over there with that. Use our link to sign up and get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Yes, SGPN's proud partner. Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, props. You can build your own model, or you can copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard. I like to do that. I say, I'm going to build my own. I press the buttons of what I like, and it jumps around that. All right, and builds around that. So Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop as well. They also have a slew of stats, research, trend analysis to give you even more betting insight. So what are you doing? Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right. I am going to do that. All right. Get that greasy bacon that's undercooked. You know what I mean? Load up with that. YouTube.com/the college experience.
Those runny eggs.
If your eggs don't got if they're not halfway full with water, you're not doing it right.
Or conversely, the driest scrambled eggs you've ever eaten.
Oh yeah.
All part of that continental breakfast experience.
If you're not getting apple juice from a machine, you ain't living. All right.
You get what you pay for. There's a reason why that continental breakfast is free.
Final game, weeknight. Rutgers, USC. Both these teams have been ass lately. What happened? USC's blown 3 straight fourth quarter leads. They're laying 14.5 points. Oh, I'm all over it. USC is going to fuck up Rutgers. It's the time zone effect. And then Rutgers has just, their defense is giving up a lot of points. USC rolls big. Give me I think it's going to be like a 42-13 type of game. Patty C, what are you doing here at the Coliseum? And there's rumblings that you might be at this game.
It is a possibility, although it's probably the 10th most entertaining game to attend, let alone even watch on TV in Los Angeles. We have the World Series. I guess the Lakers are back on TV. That doesn't really matter to me, but there's a lot more interesting things than USC Rutgers.
They got an American Gladiators they're shooting.
That's right. But yes, both of these teams have been terrible. USC's lost 4 of the last 5. I mean, that's pathetic. Even against Wisconsin in one of those wins, they're getting stomped in the first half. They are I don't know what happened to make them so bad. However, Rutgers is even worse, and Lincoln Riley really needs this one. So even though last week was my lock of the week that they would beat Maryland and cover against Maryland, didn't happen, but I'm still going USC this week. So lock it up.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with you. Let's go. Double lock there. But I think I read that Lincoln Riley's buyout is $88 million.
Mistake.
They're stuck with him. They bought out Texas A&M, which has the most money. Bought out Jimbo at what? It was like 71 or something like that $1 million. $88 million.
How nice would it be to have that kind of job where you're like almost begging them to fire you?
Yeah, it's like Matt Rule with the Panthers, right? Yeah. So YouTube.com/the college experience. The great Noah Beanick on the boards. World Series Game 1, Yankees at Dodgers, Big Ten after dark, Rutgers at USC, the greatest sports night in the history of the New York LA rivalry. That is fun. I do like that. Yeah, World Series. Go Dodgers. What are you doing there, Patty C? Dodgers or Yanks?
I mean, I can't. That's like cheering. Who are the worst people in the world?
No. Jeffrey Mayer. I'm still mad. Go
Wait,
Dodgers.
Jeffrey Mayer helped New York.
That's a fucking the kid that robbed 96 O's of winning it all. Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken and the whole damn team. That cheater Rafael Palmeiro. And see, Nick, the Dodgers or Yankees? What are you doing?
I'm mad that you're bringing up baseball on this show. I don't give a shit. I won't be watching. Now,
you got to pick one. You got to pick one.
East Coast Yankees.
Wow.
Screw the Yankees. Screw the Yankees.
Yes. Rutgers defense. They've given up 42 to Wisconsin and 35 to UCLA. Even after those games, these are not good offenses. Scoring offense. Wisconsin ranks 67th. UCLA ranks 125th after that game. And they gave up. So we know the Rutgers offense sucks. If the defense sucks also, then who are they? So traveling cross country, USC all day.
Let's go. Saturday, Patty C's working on 3 drinks. I got 3, but they're not all alcoholic. But yeah, we're similar. We're similar in that vein. Georgia Tech is heading into Blacksburg. Shout out to Weehawk. Quit. We the crazy contracts. Yeah, that's a great point. $88 million. $88 million. We're going to look back at this in like 10 years and be like, what?
Yeah.
What? They were just stealing money from these universities, which I'm all on board with because I had to, if you know anything about the college game, I've told my textbook story. But anyway, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. So this is the one we had, we had Bud Foster on the show and we thought, what's the team he hated to play most? We thought he was going to say, those classic Florida State teams or Miami teams, or maybe it was, Matt Ryan and Boston College. It was, or Clemson when Dabo got it going. Nope. It was Georgia Tech and Paul Johnson. They're not running the flex boat anymore, but they are catching 10.5 points. Enter Sandman will be going. Hokies laying 10.5. You know what? Give me the Hokies because we know no Haynes King. I just don't have faith that Georgia Tech's going to be able to move the ball with Pion. I'll lay the points. Nick, what are you doing here, ACC specialist?
Yeah, I was going to say if Prion's your quarterback, then maybe you want to go back to the triple option or the flex bone or whatever. With no Haynes King, you got to go Hokies here.
Patty?
It's tough just because Virginia Tech is hard to trust. 1 week their offense is firing, the next week it's kind of a dud. So 10.5 points is a lot to ask against the Georgia Tech team that's pretty good across the board. But you're right, without Haynes King, there's a huge drop off at the quarterback position. And I think Virginia Tech is energized. Maybe the extra 2 days after having the Thursday game last week helps a little too. So I guess I'll roll Virginia Tech, but I can see them laying a dud again. Either way, can you see Boston College pulling the upset or Georgia Tech pulling the upset on the road?
No, I mean with Haynes King 100%, but no, I can't.
Okay. Yeah, and if the spread's under 10 and you can't envision the dog winning, then you probably shouldn't bet him.
Yeah, true.
Well, let's talk about the oldest rivalry in the South, right down the road. The North Carolina Tar Heels. Mac Brown still employed, NC Nick. Mike Houston got fired before Mac Brown, just to let you know.
Mac Brown's kind of a legend there. I don't think he's going to get fired. He's going to they're going to pull a Biden on him. They're just going to politely ask him not to come back.
It'll be his decision.
Hopefully it doesn't fall off his bicycle. Look, Virginia's laying 4 at home. Look, this is one traditionally where I love taking the road team because Virginia's at home, and I feel like every time they play this matchup, the road team wins. And this series goes back to like the 1880s or something. But
the road team wins in this matchup every time.
I feel like they have recently.
Well, that
right?
kind of makes sense because neither home environment is any good. So, what's the big deal?
Yeah. But I'm gonna zig where they zag. I just think Virginia was impressive against Clemson. I'm gonna lay the 4. I'm gonna lay the 4 at that filthy Scott Stadium. I mean, I love Scott Stadium, but it's filthy the fan turnout. Patty C, what are you doing here with your Wahoos?
I think these teams are pretty similar. I think North Carolina is actually considerably better than their record. And I think UVA probably could have a win or two more that they don't, but I think it's probably a good reflection of what UVA is this year, 4-3. 4 points is just 1 or 2 too many points. I expect UVA to win. I expect it to be like a 2-point game, probably a shootout. Both teams have dynamic offenses, not great defenses, but Virginia, let's say 37-35.
NC Nick, ACC specialist.
Well, I disagree with the comment that UNC is much better than their record. I think their record is a pretty fine representation of who they are as a team. I think you can probably guess the route I'm going to go down here. The one little hesitation that, there's only 2 teams in the nation that have not covered a game. They have a big O as far as the ATS record. It's UNC and Air
Oscar
Force.
Robertson.
The big O.
You got an Oscar Robertson reference?
Not Cincinnati. I know he was a Bearcat. They could use him on the basketball team this year too. I'm going UVA. I'm betting against UNC every week, so I'm gonna lay the points with UVA again. Let's go.
So far, so good on that one.
Let's go. And look, I feel like over the past 10 years, I'm looking at this. I feel like the road record is pretty impressive here. So yeah,
good rivalry.
Yeah,
59-66 in terms of North Carolina's favor. I do think that one's contested. I do enjoy a rivalry that has a contested record. It just gives it a little more intrigue.
Yeah, if only the fans cared there.
The over/under should be how many fans will be at the game? Like 15
Yeah.
or 15.
These fucking losers don't even appreciate a rivalry that's like. I mean, it's got its own Wikipedia page. It's been there since 1892 or some shit. It's really disgusting to me. But anyway, Nebraska. Hey, guy in the YouTube chat that gave me a hard time last week about what's my logic on taking Indiana over Nebraska? Doesn't make any sense. Nebraska's schedule is so much harder. Well, first off, no, it's not really. But that was a nice 7 points you guys put up in Bloomington. Appreciate those 7 points you put up. It was nice. And they didn't even need their starting quarterback the second half. Nebraska's catching 25.5 at the Horseshoe against Ohio State. They're going to get destroyed here. I will lay the 25.5. I thought about locking this because coming off the loss, I can be talked into a lock here. NC Nick, what are you doing
I'll
here?
talk you into it. Yeah, I'm on the road so far. Dylan Raiola has 1 touchdown to just 3 interceptions, and the Buckeyes have had that bad taste of duck in their mouth for 2 weeks now. So I think they come out and just slaughter them. I'm gonna lock up the Buckeyes.
Let's go. Patty, see you on board.
I have a little hesitation just because Nebraska's offense has been good this year. Number 18, or not offense, rather defense, number 18 in the nation in total defense. However, Ohio State, number 6 offense, number 2 defense, and Nebraska's offense way down in the 80s. It's just that you wonder if Ohio State's going to keep it a little vanilla before Penn State. 25.5. It's a big number, but just based on how bad Nebraska just got their ass whooped, I'm going to say they do it again and Ohio State flexes. So yeah, I'll join you. I won't lock.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Triple lock?
Nah.
He said no. Patty Chicken said no.
Well, maybe this next game you'll be interested in because it's in East Rutherford, whatever the fuck they're calling the Meadowlands these days. What's that stadium called now? MetLife.
Yeah.
The Mets don't even fucking play there, but they're still saying MetLife. Notre Dame's laying 12.5 against Navy. This game suddenly is like the maybe the best game of the weekend. I'm not there yet on Navy. They haven't destroyed ECU yet. And they got to come to G Vegas in November without Mike Houston. You're gonna get destroyed. So I'm gonna lay the 12.5 with Notre Dame. I had some deep thought on this one. I did Benedict this one on the SGP show. Started out thinking Navy could do it, and then I said, you know what? Let me take Notre Dame. I think their run game is gonna be too much. So give me the Irish. I'm your leprechaun. Lay the 12.5. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Well, Notre Dame has a strength of a passing defense, and Navy obviously still a rush-oriented team to say the least. I think they're second in the nation in rushing. So that kind of lends itself to Navy doing a little better against Notre Dame than I guess you would expect them to do. But I think it's going to be closer than that. I think I'm going to have Navy covering. The money line is in play here.
Woo! Lock?
I don't know. Yeah, I'll lock it. Yeah, I'll lock it. I think it'll be a good game. I think Notre Dame probably wins close, but 10.5, that seems like a lot. I'll lock it.
C, 10.5. You sank my battleship, Patty C. Lock it up, the midshipman.
Oh, wait, I'm seeing 12.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 12.5. It's 12.5.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was looking at. Well, that's even better.
Yeah,
obviously. So, yeah, give me Navy.
NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I kind of disagree, Patty. I think, Navy's had a very nice year so far. Definitely. They've only played one team above 500. It was a nice home win against Memphis. Memphis is, I would say, pretty good. Some people say revenge from last year. I mean, last year in Ireland, Notre Dame just crushed them. I like the Irish here. I think people are kind of lumping Navy in with Army. I think Army is much better than Navy. I think I'll lock battle you, Patty C. I think
I'll join you.
Come into Jersey.
I'll join you. Let's do a little battle here on the gridiron.
Not to be all chalky with the food love here.
We got a battle. Patty C. You sank my battleship. Dundee and NC Nick. I'm your leprechaun.
When did Army and Navy get such amazing quarterbacks, though? I mean, it's been since
Roger Staubach.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 60 years since Staubach. Keenan Reynolds was great for Navy, but Horvath is probably I don't know if he's better than Reynolds, but they're in the same, I guess, league. And other than that, those two are the best that I've ever seen Navy have. So great quarterback play with the triple option means big wins and lots of them.
Wait, who was the guy they had before Keenan Reynolds? Paul Johnson.
I'm not sure.
They had someone who was really nasty too. Tulane is at North Texas. Tulane's laying 7.5. I will lock this one as well. Not buying into this North Texas nonsense. Tulane was asleep last week against Rice for a little bit. They wake up as they head to Denton. It's easy to see a tide turn. Green Wave cover the 7.5. NC Nick, you coming?
No, I'm not. I bet I locked up Memphis last week against North Texas, and they couldn't cover because that North Texas offense is legit.
Here's why that was a risky move, though. Memphis always has a shitty defense. Tulane actually has a real defense.
Yeah, I mean, I see your angle, and I think Tulane. I don't feel great about this one, but I'll go North Texas.
Patty,
close to home dog. Sign me up.
Let me get the stats on Tulane's defense, but my inclination off the top is to believe in Tulane and think they'll cover and to fade it North Texas. But Tulane scared me a little bit. You're right, 23 defense overall for Tulane, but you know what? For whatever reason, I'm believing North Texas again, so I think they'll cover.
Wow, man, all my locks are like in the same vein. So Buffalo, the Bulls are heading into Athens, Ohio. The great legendary Peden Stadium there at Frank Solich Field. CBS Sports Network covering this one. Ohio's laying 6, and I don't think that's accurate. I am locking up Buffalo +6. Play it on the money line. They are better than Ohio this year. Hate to tell you. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I don't like to go against my Bobcats, but I thought Buffalo was definitely the play here. I think if Ohio wins, it's going to be a close game, like a 3 or 4 pointer. I think you're talking me into a lock here. I'm blocking up a lot so far, but let's keep that lock train rolling. Buffalo +6.
Let's go. Ride that money line. Patty C, what are you doing here?
I guess you're right. Ohio, even though they had a good year last year, has been kind of squeaking by suspect competition. Morgan State only by 15. Akron, I guess they beat by 20, but Central Michigan by 2. So yeah, I think Buffalo has been more impressive this year. But did you guys say you're fading Buffalo or you're rolling with Buffalo?
Locking up Buffalo.
Locking up Buffalo. Sorry. I'll take Buffalo. I'm not locking.
All right, myself, NC Nick.
Look out, just watch him go. Down
The Bulls. +6. Sprinkle that money line.
Oh no, it's a down Buffalo.
College game day will be in Bloomington, Indiana. Woo! The Huskies of Washington taking on the Hoosiers without Curtis Rourke, and these are the breaks. Taven Jackson getting the start. He started 3 games a season ago. Played the second half against Nebraska. Google me after I win this because I'm laying the 6.5. Washington's better than what I thought they would be this year.
Are they going to get to that? 6.5 was their.
I took the under. I bet the under. I still think I'm looking somewhat decent.
Indiana, USC, Penn State, UCLA, and Oregon. I think they can get maybe USC and UCLA. Indiana, Penn State, and Oregon all on the road.
They got to get one of the other ones.
Yeah, they're not getting a 7 win. So that was a good play on your part.
I'm on the They look better than I thought they would, though. I will take the Hoosiers -6.5. Give me like a 35-28 type of game, maybe a 35-21 type of game. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Bloomington?
Well, it does suck about Rourke. We'll see how long he's out for. Do we know that yet?
I saw a report saying he'll be back November 2nd. I think they said
maybe for Michigan State. They said
couple games. I'll still roll with Indiana. I mean, Washington's 2 trips to the Central or Eastern time zones have resulted in a close loss to Rutgers and a blowout at Iowa. Rutgers and Iowa aren't looking that great right now. So I think Indiana is still the play. And I think a lot of people are going to be off him because of the backup quarterback that comes in. But that guy's been around for a while. He's solid. He can do some stuff with his legs. I'm going to still ride that roll with the Hoosiers here.
Patty?
Dude, I don't know how you couldn't roll with the Hoosiers. They are a freight train right now. College game day is coming there for the first time. Washington looks like a relatively mediocre team. Granted, they have a common opponent so far in Northwestern, and they both played them about equal. So maybe as far as quality of teams, that suggests that maybe. But I just think Indiana is way better, way more complete, and they're going to dominate on that stage. So lock up Indiana, 6.5. Not even a touchdown. Come on, give me Indiana.
Patty C locking up his boy Kurt Signetti. Biff, Poggi, and Charlotte are fucking horrible, but they did win 3 games this year so far. Now
I
they
will
had
say
to
this though, real quick about Signetti. We hosted college game day against App State, and we took our only fucking L of the regular season. So maybe he's learned from that though. Maybe he's learned how to handle college game day in town.
Yeah, maybe. Biff Poggi is catching 18 points in the Liberty Bowl against Memphis. Yeah. Give me the 18, but no lock. Remember last season, Charlotte kind of fucked with Memphis.
I was going to say, wasn't this a really close game? Like
overtime, Memphis win. I'll take the points, but I'm not locking this thing. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
I agree. I think Memphis, I mean, against some of these weak opponents like MTSU or USF, they've kind of played with their food some. So I'll take Charlotte in points.
Patty?
I think Charlotte has been playing well, better than expectations. Getting rolled by Navy is, I don't know. They have gotten their ass kicked against better competition, including JMU. But Memphis is on that level on road trip. You know what? I'll take Memphis. I'll take Memphis to cover this.
Oklahoma is heading into Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss laying 20. I struggle with this one. My first thought was take Oklahoma in the points. Then I was like, no, they're not going to be able to score any points. And then I was like, take Ole Miss.
Oklahoma? Who's Oklahoma?
Arklahoma. I'm sorry. Arklahoma is heading into Ole Miss. My apologies. Arklahoma is getting 20. The over-under set at 48.5. I went back and forth, though, because I was like, Arklahoma makes a lot of sense here because Ole Miss is counterfeit like normal. But then I was like, wait a second. Ole Miss is kind of due after that tough loss against LSU. But then they fired Luttrell, and then I'm like, Oklahoma could cover this. I'm all over the place here.
You think the
I think that
firing,
means means don't bet it. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Oklahoma here.
I think I'm going to take Oklahoma too. Give me Oklahoma too. 20 is too much, and both these teams are counterfeit. Venables is feeling the heat a little more.
We did have Ole Miss and Tennessee are kind of mirror images of each other, and Oklahoma, was able to keep it relatively close. I think 2 touchdowns with Tennessee. Granted, that was in Oklahoma, so going to Ole Miss, I think I'm going to roll with the Rebels, especially because they want to get right after that loss to LSU.
All right, no lock. Any lock out there for that one? No. All right. Speaking of Oklahoma, one of their rivals, Arkansas, is laying 6.5 at Mississippi State. All of a sudden, Mississippi State, Jeff Lebby's offense, they're 1-6. But damn if they didn't look decent the past couple of weeks with my guy Michael Van Buren at the quarterback spot. However, I still think Road Rash Face is going to come in there. I think Arkansas is, they sucked last week, but this is a get right spot. I'm going to lay the 6.5. NC Nick?
I'm going to go with the Van B boys. If anybody catches that Seinfeld reference, I think Mississippi State showed me enough to keep this close, and Arkansas has also showed me enough to keep this close in a bad way. So give me the home dog.
Patty?
Oh boy, it's 6. No, I got to go Arkansas here. 6.5 either way. Still, Mississippi State has just found a way to lose every stinking game. Six losses in a row. I think Arkansas is able to cover a touchdown on the road. Is this the most country possible matchup in the SEC? I know Mississippi State, Texas A&M happened a few weeks ago. Those are 2 pretty country teams, but I feel like this is the most Texas A&M has a little flash to it. I feel like both Arkansas and Mississippi State are the true,
I think it is.
Nature of the SEC. Yeah.
Georgia State is at Appalachian State. I think I would agree with your point too, Patty C. App State's laying 8. This is their first time playing in Boone since when? It's been a minute, right?
Yes.
Lock up app.
How's that stadium? Is it back in the I'm guessing?
Yeah, I think they're playing there, so I will lay the 8. App State's still going to find their way to a bowl game. Starts here.
Actually, the last time they played in Boone, Fluff Bothwell cashed a plus 1,000 ticket for 2 touchdowns for me. In South Alabama kicked their ass.
Lock up app, Nick. Come on. Let me help you.
Man. I don't know if they have any fight this year. Let me ask you a question here. I don't mean anything by this. Might be a little bit of a touchy subject, but does Sean Clark get his job saved because of the hurricane?
Tragic magic playing in his favor.
Just because almost like Elliott with the shooting, for UVA.
Yeah. Another year.
Yeah. Because,
tough to talk about it like that.
The product on the field deserves him being fired. But now with everything going on, I don't know. But I can't take App State right now, lane 8. Can't do it.
I will. And I'll lock it up and I'll cash. They cashed for me against Louisiana. They're going to cash here. Lay the 8. Patty C, what are you doing?
Georgia State blew their wad against Vandy. They cashed in some kind of ticket to the football gods there, and then have since lost. Against decent teams, Georgia Southern, Old Dominion, and Marshall. So respectable losses there, but I still think App State's going to get right. This is where they motivate and turn their season around. So give me the Mountaineers.
Lock?
Nah.
All right, Central Michigan, fire up chips heading into Jaeger Bomb Stadium to take on the Miami, Ohio Redhawks. We're still 3-4. Unbelievable, considering they won the MAC a season ago. Miami, Ohio's laying 12. I do think Miami, Ohio is going to win this game because I think they are one of the best teams, but 12's too much. This is the wacky MAC. Give me the 12 and the chips. Nick?
Yeah, I've locked Miami of Ohio 2 weeks in a row when they were favored by 3 or 4 points. I'm not going to take him laying 12 in the MAC. No, thank you. Give me the chips.
Patty,
locking the number 108 offense in the country to cover a 12-point spread. Fire up chips. Let's go.
I actually think this is fringe lock territory, Nick. How do you feel about that? I think Central Michigan plus 12 is fringe lock territory.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay off, I think, but I could see why you might throw a couple bucks on the chips.
Well,
Has Gabbard
I got some.
gotten considerably better? Has Gabbard improved considerably in the past few weeks? I thought he was starting.
Last couple of weeks, the offense has come around.
Okay, but still, I think you're right. In fact, you know what? I will. I'm gonna lock it. Give me Central Michigan.
Oh,
Wow, Patty C. Lock it up the chips. Let's go. I might join you by the time Saturday comes around. I might be joining you, but I got a couple other locks I'm about to play, and one is right here. These Temple Owls, who might be the next team to have a coach fired, are heading into G Vegas. Dowdy Ficklin Stadium without Mike Houston can really be something. You know, Mike Houston didn't beat one goddamn Power 5 school. Scotty Montgomery even beat 2 Power 5 schools. To give you an idea, Patty C.
UNC and NC State?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So as bad as Scotty Montgomery was, Mike Houston was even worse. So now he's gone. And you know what that means? It is a good time to jump on these Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina. You don't come to East Carolina. You don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
Lay the 7. This is going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be a fucking bloodbath.
Every week, Patty. Every week.
30-9 final score. NC Nick, you coming with?
No, I'm not. ECU leads the nation in turnovers committed per game. 2.7 turnovers.
The head coach is gone.
Oh, is that his fault that their quarterback keep on throwing interceptions?
Right, it was. Did you order the code red? Right, you're goddamn right. He's the problem with all of this. The roster's not that bad.
Well, you wonder if ECU does get that 1-game bump from the interim head coach, but I'm not going to bet this. But I'll pick Temple.
Patty?
No, isn't it Nick's? Nick was the one that pointed us out a couple of years ago that after a coach gets fired, the team traditionally plays a little bit better, galvanizing around the interim or potentially the new head coach, and then they typically fall off. So I expect that, especially at home for ECU, to get that going, especially because, like Colby said, they have a pretty good offense, and that showed against a great Army defense. They still managed to hang 28 on them. Good offensive output for ECU, and I think even though Temple's been better than their record, I still think ECU covers.
Lock?
Yeah.
There we go.
Pirates.
Let's go. And Stan Drayton, NC Nick, you're backing a guy that's never beat these Pirates. 0-3.
I'm not betting on ECU.
No, 0-2. He'll be 0-3
last
Saturday.
week you tried to talk me into betting on and locking up ECU.
They
also.
pushed.
I said no then.
They pushed.
I'll say no now.
They push, and if you bet that Saturday morning, you cash because that thing was at 18. Anyway, let's keep this lock train going. For me, Oregon is laying 21.5. I don't give a shit that people are scared about the half. This line is ridiculous. Illinois is going to cover this. Give me the 21.5. Lock it up. Illinois is a well-balanced team, a well-coached team. I don't think the gap between your top teams in the country and Illinois are that bad. Illinois was down 14-7 at Penn State with 3 minutes left. Now the final score is 21-7 because of a defensive touchdown. They still would cover that. I think it's a great spot to get the Illini plus 21.5. I'm locking it. Sprinkle a little bit on that money line. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I don't think I'm going to sprinkle any money line, but I will lock it up with you. I mean, this is the 20th team in the nation. They're 6-1, being disrespected with this line. I'm seeing 21.5 still out there. Also, give me the Fighting Illini. I'll lock it up with you.
Let's go. And shame on the top 25 for not moving them up after beating a ranked team. Such a bogus top 25.
Well, I mean, Michigan shouldn't be ranked, but
they're going to rank them. Then they should honor their fucking rankings.
I guess.
You know what I mean? I agree they shouldn't have been ranked, but still, They are 6-1.
If it wasn't for a preseason, if it wasn't for a preseason ranking, Michigan wouldn't have been ranked.
True, but those same preseason rankings still have Ole Miss ahead of Illinois. Patty C, what are you doing here?
That you guys, who is Illinois' best win though? What makes you so confident? Have they even played any team of Oregon's caliber? I mean, Oregon's sitting there at number 1, so I guess not. But
they played Penn State. I mean, that's
like I said, it was 14-7. 3 minutes left.
Yeah, but Oregon has a far more explosive offense than Penn State, I think. So that and both are on the road though. I agree with you, especially with the hook that I'm going to go Illinois. Maybe though the Heisman thing for Dylan Gabriel has Oregon pouring it on late because he's sitting there at number 3 behind Genty and Cam Ward right now. So maybe they try and boost his stats and get him in the conversation a little more. But I will take Illinois.
Lock?
Yeah. Let's have a little fun. That's 3 locks in a row. That's 3 locks in a row. So maybe I got to chill.
But you're looking for the party here.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Triple lock on the Illini plus 21.5. Maryland is heading into Minneapolis. Wait, off their biggest win ever with Mike Loxley? Lock. PJ Fleck -4 all day. This might be my favorite play of the whole entire fucking card. Maryland sucks. They suck. They caught lightning in a bottle. They needed a blocked kick or whatever. No, they lose this game. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I wholeheartedly agree. I'm right there with you. Situationally speaking, Maryland on the road. Minnesota's a solid team that plays good at home. They already have a home win against USC. I guess the team Maryland just beat. If you want to do transitive patty there, I like Minnesota.
They beat them by a little more though.
I think it's a great spot for Minnesota. I'm with you. Lock it up too.
Let's go. Patty C, do we have one more triple lock?
Yeah, I'll go 4 in a row with you guys. I don't know. It's you guys keep fading Loxley. You keep disrespecting him every single week. One day you're going to respect the man. But
yeah. I picked Maryland last week. You guys didn't.
True. Okay, Colby is really who that's directed at. Minnesota though does have a great spot. Anytime you rush the field, and you have to go on the road the following week, not a good thing. So Minnesota covers 4.
Triple lock. Looks like we got to go for Southern Miss. Interim head coach and all headed to Bridgeforth Connect Stadium where they catch a 24.5. This screams money line play. Definitely give me the 24.5. The one coach bump, Patty. So you just said the same with ECU. What are you doing? Give me these Golden Eagles plus 24.5.
ECU is a slightly better team than Southern Miss. Southern Miss 123 on offense. Let me check their defensive stats, but I guess it's in the same area. 117 defense. They are not any good. However, the 2 times that I have selected against or selected JMU to cover this year, they have lost outright. So give me Southern Miss.
And see, Nick, what are you doing here?
No,
yeah. I am not buying into the 1 game bump here. I guess I'm going against my thing from a couple years ago in both these games. But especially with JMU coming off the loss, coming home against this wounded Eagle squad, JMU is just going to crush them, lay the points.
Well, that's the other thing. It's been road games that have hurt us this year. So maybe we play a little better at home.
Oklahoma State is heading to Waco, Texas. Take on the Baylor Bears. Baylor's laying 7. I was on Baylor last week. They took down those Texas Tech Red Raiders. How you feeling now, NC Nick? Huh?
The bye week screwed up Texas Tech.
So the Bible will cost you sometimes.
I did cash a pretty nice ladder on Sawyer Robertson throwing over 300 yards.
Yeah, that was my DFS play too, buddy. Remember? Right. No, but you got to take Oklahoma State here. I'll take the 7. Oklahoma State almost won last week. Probably should have, as I played the money line and lost because their safeties couldn't make a tackle. I will take the 7.
To be fair, they're the worst tackling team in the country. They haven't tackled anybody all year.
Fair.
Give up a lot of points.
I do still like the points though. I contemplated locking it up also.
Yeah. I think they're going to win it on the money line too.
I feel like we're locking up every game.
No, I'm not locking this one.
There's a lot I like on the board here. Patty C, what do you think? You want to roll with me?
You're locking up Oklahoma State? No, I'm not. But I will take Oklahoma State. Seeing Ollie Gordon get it going a little bit was encouraging, I guess, for Oklahoma State. 7 points. It's almost lock-worthy, but I'll skip this.
Well, somebody on this show has to have a pair of balls here, so it'll be me.
Well, they have Oklahoma State has the number 130 offense in the nation, so good luck with that.
He's locking it up. NC Nick saying, how about them Cowboys? +7. All right, next we got a classic ACC matchup as Wake Forest heads to the Farm to take on Stanford.
Be the most boring possible game of the new ACC.
Oh, I know it is. The new ACC. This might be the most boringest game of the whole Saturday here.
Yeah.
What's more boring, Rice or UConn or Wake Forest Stanford?
Well, I don't find UConn very boring. You see Jim Mora's press conference?
No, I missed it.
Oh man, I've never seen anyone call it out as hard. He's just like railing on the referees, dropping F-bombs.
Railing on the ACC's referees. He's like, because not only was it a pass interference, it was a defensive holding before that. And then he goes, but it was ACC refs. Maybe one day we'll play with a level playing field. And he had like 4 or 5 curse words in there.
Ooh,
he came after them.
Is everybody okay after hearing those curse words?
Well,
is everyone it's 2024. Just checking if everybody's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Mac Brown might have filed some paperwork with the ACC saying like, let's not put UConn on any conference games.
Around here we say dead gammon.
Kansas would have fired him. Who else had language issues? Michigan supposedly that's why they fired Rich Rod.
Noah, do you have that? Can you find that press conference? Because I think we're good to go on just playing that press conference. I'll see if I can.
More.
This is not it, but this is UTEP getting
UTEP backup quarterback's name is JP Pickles.
Oh, great name, JP Pickles. He's got to get a job in the Valley after this, but great name. Noah, can you find the Jim Mora press conference? I think we could play the audio on that one. I think I retweeted it from our account, the TCE account, or my own personal one. But anyway, Wake Forest is laying 3 at Stanford. I struggle with this one, man. I ended up going Wake -3, but this game's hilarious. NC Nick, you're the ACC specialist.
I like Stanford here. I think Wake was just at UConn, now at Stanford. That's kind of a brutal little stretch there. Give me the home team here. Home dog, sign me up.
Patty?
It's a little bit of a long trip. I mean, obviously a very long trip for Wake, but Stanford has really sucked over 3 weeks. Granted, 4 weeks, Clemson, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, SMU, even before that, Syracuse, no joke. So this is the easiest game they've played in like 6 weeks here. However, I think Wake is a lot better than their record suggests. 1 point loss to UVA, 3 point loss against a good Louisiana.
Should have lost to UConn last week.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with that. Whenever Patty says an ACC team is better than the record, I just disagree because Wake Forest and UNC are not. I think again that's an accurate depiction of who they are.
Well, it always happens to be a ACC or North Carolina teams that aren't your team.
Hang on.
Rivals of NC State.
I think Beanick has found the clip. Can we play this thing, brother?
I'm proud of them for fighting back. We've got to make sure that we put ourselves in a position where it doesn't come down to one play where an ACC team makes a horseshit call against an independent. And that's up to us to play better at the start of the game so it doesn't come down to that call, which was holding and PI. And that's what I told them. And we'll come back and we'll fight. So it's on us to play better earlier. But it'd sure be nice if it was a level playing field.
Questions, anyone?
Jim, I mean, obviously the way it came down is not.
Yeah, it was a hold and a PI. Hold and a PI. Here's your explanation. ACC versus independent. There's your explanation, Dom. It's pretty fucking simple.
The great Jim
All right,
Moore, a
thanks,
friend of the program, been on the show, and I'm with him. If you watch that play, he's not lying. If you go watch that play, I shared it from the TCE account. It is a horrible no call. And the AC, like as much as you want to say the
coach has the balls to call it out.
Yeah. As much as you want to say, like, I mean, the SEC did this year has been fucking horrible on refs in college football. But the Texas Georgia game was terrible. But I almost think if you add up the 3 Miami games and throw this on the side, you're just like, well, I think ACC has been the clear worst conference when it came to refs this year.
Well, they're fighting to survive as an entity, so kind of can't blame them there.
Yeah. And speaking of which, Rice heads to UConn. UConn's laying 6.5. CBS Sports Network, the home of UConn football and hoops. I'm all over UConn here. I actually think we should maybe consider locking this. When you come after, I you know what? Let's roll with the Huskies. Muddy Waters is in the background there. He's part Husky. Howl at the moon tonight. Let's go. Play the 6.5. Patty, you coming?
I don't know. I mean, that was a pretty impressive performance by Rice against Tulane last week. I know Tulane turned it on late. And did they end up cover? What was the spread on that? They didn't cover it.
They didn't cover though. No.
What's that spread? 7? I'll go
6.5. 6.5, buddy.
Sure, that's a long trip. I'll go UConn.
Double lock. Let's go. NC Nick, 3's the charm.
I like the UConn side here, but I'm not going to lock it up. I think Rice is finally playing a little bit better. EJ Warner playing a little bit better, but I'll go UConn. No lock.
Well, speaking of locks, one of my preseason win total locks on the over was Chris Creighton and the Eastern Michigan Eagles. They cashed that thing already. They're laying 2.5 as they head into the Rubber Bowl to take on the Akron Zips, who are 1-6, best 1-6 team in the country, though, Patty C. And the line reflects it. This is exactly. You got 5-2 Eastern Michigan at Akron, and Eastern Michigan's a 2.5-point favorite. That tells you that this Akron team and Pick Dundee's not full of shit all the time on the Zip team. Now, having said all that, I will lay the 2.5 with Eastern Michigan. Patty C, what are you doing here?
This line is unbelievable. You know what? Let me tell you what. Sorry, Cole. I'm going to unlock UConn because I think Rice may be able to get that one. But I will lock Eastern Michigan.
There we go. Hey, shout out to R-Right311 who's going to be at this game. Cheers, brother. Cheers, brother. All right, can you send me a DM on Twitter? We're going to send you a shirt. Get yourself out to college football games, folks. And it doesn't necessarily mean you got to go to the $500 ticket, the Texas-Georgia game. Go support college football, FCS, D2, D3, NAIA. Get on out there to a game. That's awesome to hear, all right. Tag us in some photos or some tailgating, whatever you're doing, at TCE on SGPN. And that goes for every listener out there. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Akron, Ohio?
Well, I think the line definitely smells, so I could see why the home dog would be attractive. But I'll stick with the better team, and that is Eastern Michigan.
Well, I think the line reflects that Chris Creighton's never blown a team out. Every game is like 20-17. And this game
was
will be
the old
same.
Chris Creighton. This year,
That's
Eastern
true.
Michigan's
That's
either up
true.
or down.
That is true. That is true.
Akron, 126 offense and 113 defense. They are terrible. They're not quite Kent State, but they're right there. I don't know why you've been so invested into paying attention to Akron football this year. We got 9 TVs on, and Colby's watching the Akron game like intently.
I like to keep look. Moorhead's turning that corner. I think next year's his breakthrough season. All right, year 4 if he gets it next year. BYU is number 11 in the country. How great is this? NC Nick continues to hate on this team, left and right.
Hey, I locked up Oklahoma State. They covered for me.
They did. I covered the. Look, I took them too, and they covered. But they're heading to Orlando to take on UCF. Ja'Cory Brown got the start. The guy can play. I think he's better than KJ Jefferson. Some of the other it's like there was a mutiny. Bunch of players quit, but you know what? Sometimes that's a blessing. As you saw them almost knock off Iowa State names. UCF is favored in this one, laying 1.5. And guess what? I'm taking them. I'm laying the 1.5. I know there's a huge Mormon population in Orlando, which scares me a little bit, but I'm laying the 1.5. Nick?
I agree. This is kind of the same play as Pitt. But here, I mean, UCF, I think it's addition by subtraction. Some of those players, maybe they didn't want to be there from the get-go. So now you got more buy-in. They showed what they can do even in a losing effort last week. Maybe that gives them some confidence coming home, and BYU is due for a loss. I have nothing against BYU personally. I just think a lot of these undefeated teams are due to drop one. On the road is a perfect spot, especially since they got so fortunate to beat Oklahoma State last week. Let's go UCF.
The guy said he's got nothing against BYU personally, but
I won't have anything against BYU.
I don't know. Last time we were hammered, you said that John Smith, he was full of shit. All right.
I've been to Provo. It's beautiful.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is. I've been there too. Patty C, what are you doing here?
I understand. I understand the appeal. It's a long trip. They just got through a tough win. Gus Malzahn is notorious for pulling these kind of upsets. But let's be honest, the UCF has lost 4 in a row. It should be 5-0. They barely came back.
They're coming off their best game though.
Yeah. Okay. One good game, and it was a good game. And I do agree that Ja'Cory Brown is a huge upgrade based on that small sample size over Jefferson rather. However, BYU is sitting there at 7-0, and they are rolling. So they're dogs. Give me the Cougs.
Lock for anybody? I thought about locking UCF.
Nah. And let's be honest. Other than that, BYU's most of their wins have been impressive. It's slapping the crap out of Kansas State, who's number 13 right now. They beat them by 29 points. They're a pretty good team. I mean, they beat SMU close on the road, and this is a long road trip. So I can see
that was SMU starting Prestone and not Kevin Jennings.
That's true. I mean, I don't think BYU is probably a national championship team, but let's give them some credit here.
Sure. No, I agree. NC Nick's he hated on him last year too. He's had this thing going with this BYU Cougars team. Folks, if you're listening to this on the audio side, make sure to check out the B side where we talk about the rest of the action. If you're on YouTube, just stay put right there. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Get on over there. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC__NICK. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. So hop on over there, please, if you can. Spotify 5 stars and let it ride. All right, we are back talking week 9 college football. This is the B side. If you're just listening to this, if just tuning in, we're at the noon 30 games. Just did BYU, UCF. All the other games are on the A side. Go listen to it, and shout out to my guy Tony C in the chat. He goes, if George Mason would stop bullshitting and get a real football program going, I'd be at all their games. That speaks for all of us. I think we would all try to, I mean, living far away, I would still try to get there for a good amount of games. Let's go. George Mason. It's literally
the stupidest thing I've ever seen. If you look at a U.S. population map where like the heavily populated areas are concentrated, that whole area has fucking Maryland, a team that won't really invest in their football program.
Nobody in Northern Virginia likes Maryland.
Yeah.
Northern Virginia would buy into George Mason big time.
Especially after that is the Washington Redskins and what they've been doing and the way, this is like you have such a window of opportunity and they're dropping the ball with it. But we all agree
JMU is reaping the benefits.
Yes, that's true. JMU, how far is that? An hour and a half away?
Hour 45 minutes.
Yeah. And they're just sitting there loading up, but George Mason sitting there. Unbelievable. Going back to the picks, UTSA, they started their football program out of the fucking blue, and they've had great success with it. They're heading to H.H. Chapman Stadium, legendary H.H. Chapman Stadium, where Chris Penn and Chris Jesus,
that's me.
I'm all over the place. Chris Penn is a former Tulsa wideout too. NC Nick knows what I'm talking about.
Chiefs.
I was trying to say Steve Largent and Chris Penn, also Drew Pearson, the old Dallas Cowboy, all caught touchdowns for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. UTSA is heading in there. UTSA is laying 8, and I am taking these Golden Hurricanes plus the 8. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Of course. I mean, UTSA laying 8 on the road. Have you watched them this year?
They're horrible. They're horrible without Captain Harris.
Yes. I mean, granted, Tulsa's not any good either, but at home getting 8 points, you got to go Tulsa.
Yeah.
Patty?
That seems like that borderline stinks. That line borderline smells. So, I will, I'll take, who is it? Sorry. I just dropped the ball. Tulsa to cover 8. Absolutely.
Shout out to Paul who's saying the Georgetown Hoyas should make that jump. They're in the FCS. At least they're not pussies. They're playing FCS football.
Colby also watches them
every year or every week. Every week. Shout out to those Hoyas. Let's go. Northern Illinois laying 11 at Patty C's boys from Muncie, Ball State. 11 points in the MAC. I can't. Ball State is coming off of like the big SEC game where I'm sure they got up. I'm actually going to lay the 11 with Northern Illinois. Nick, what are you doing here?
No, I took Ball State last week. I'll take them again.
Patty, do I even need to ask you?
I'm rolling with my boys, of course. Ball State, Northern Illinois just lost to a suspect Toledo team. So I think they're trending down, and it's only going to make Notre Dame's win or loss look worse. So you got to roll Ball State here.
All right. I will take it.
A little in-state, you got to figure Ball State has a little hatred for Notre Dame, them being in the same state. So anything to make that loss look worse, I'm sure Ball State's going to take seriously.
There we go. Let's go.
Hey, speaking of Patty C's boys, has he seen the running back for Iowa State, Carson Hansen?
Oh, I don't think he has.
No, if you could find a little picture of Carson Hansen, like his face picture, I think Patty C's going to be a big fan.
Are you calling in? Oh,
man crush Patty C.
Oh man!
Over the years, Patty's had some man crushes on.
Look, I have gotten away from the man crush, but if you're gonna put this in front of my face, what am I gonna do here? Look at these golden locks.
It was Michael Pratt. It was Carson Steele. There's been a couple other ones.
Yeah. Anyone named Carson, gets me going. It's just a Chad of a name right there.
Guys, I got a lock for you. Northwestern is taking on Iowa. Iowa's laying 14. That's ridiculous. First off, Northwestern, out of all the teams in the Big Ten West, I know there's no more West, but Northwestern is one that like always plays Iowa really good in Kinnick. I'm taking the 14. I'm locking it up. Who the hell is Iowa to be laying 14 against Northwestern? Give me the points all day. Let's go. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm definitely on the same side as you. I mean, I don't know if I want to bet it. The Northwestern looked pretty awful last week, and Iowa might be mad after their performance last week. So I'll side with you. No bet.
Your opinion of Luke Fickell jumping into Lake Michigan?
That's pretty cool.
Every
They're doing
coach,
something right.
I feel like every coach that wins at that stadium for the couple of years that we have it should jump into that damn lake.
I like it.
Patty C, what are you doing here in Kinnick?
Well, usually these games are pretty close regardless of location. Last year was a 3-point game. They're
the same team, but one a little more athletic.
Yeah. 20 points 2 years ago, but before that, 5-3. There was a 20-pointer there, but 4-7, 7. So, yeah, they usually play pretty close. I think you have to roll Northwestern to cover 14.
No one's locking it with me, huh? Unbelievable. Well, I'm going to lock a historic rivalry game, and this is one I would encourage the listener to watch. I know that it's a busy Saturday, but if you have like a multi-screen, get this on this. We got the historic Battle of I-75, Bowling Green, Toledo going on. Toledo's laying 2.5 NC Nick, where you at with Scotty Leffler?
You know what? What did Bowling Green do last week? I forget.
I'm gonna lock them up here. This is a veteran Bowling Green team.
They're on a bye?
What's that?
What did they do last week? Were they on a bye?
They beat Kent State and covered by 0.5 point for me.
Yeah, so they were on a bye. Gotcha.
Yeah. But hear me out here. And I think we should all triple lock this. Bowling Green is getting points, but they are a senior-ridden team. Meanwhile, Toledo is a young team. They lost their entire offensive line. Penny Boone, their QB is Daquan Finn. Their whole team is gone. They didn't have many returning starters. This is a huge game within those programs. Toledo's got a rocket aimed at Bowling Green's 50-yard line, a live rocket. If you didn't know this, right? I think Bowling Green's going to win this game because it's a senior-ridden team, and I do think they've had this one circled. Toledo won 32-31 a year ago. I'm locking up the Falcons on the road here. Let's go. NC Nick, did I sell you?
You sold me. I do like that angle. And I was originally not leaning because we don't lean over at SGPN. I was originally contemplating taking Toledo. You switched me. I want to take Bowling Green here, but I don't plan on betting this because I do think it's a coin flip rivalry game where crazy shit happens. I think this game last year was crazy too. Wasn't like a 1-point game. Wasn't it like a
32-31? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's a great spot for us. Revenge and a team full of seniors. It's perfect.
Shout out to the boss of Sean Green for giving us shit for leaning on teams. He said that is not what we do at this company.
Look, we were in a heated argument on Saturday about this. I was like, yeah, I understand. I'm down with the cause, but first off, I do so many damn shows, right? When you're covering, he covers the NFL with like 14 games.
Right.
I cover the entire FCS and FBS. I'm doing like a solid 150 games in a weekend, right?
Every game can't be a lock.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're asking me about fucking Morehead State taking on Stetson. Like, kind of lean Stetson. You know what I mean?
Don't say the L word.
Yeah.
It's easy to say when you're sitting back there with your nice 14-game slate. All right. Anyway, Patty C, you locking up Bowling Green?
I am going to go Bowling Green. I'm not going to lock it. These teams are kind of mirror images of each other. Bowling Green, number 85 offense, Toledo, number 89, Bowling Green, number 47 defense, Toledo, number 57. So pretty close on both fronts. That suggests it'll be a defensive battle a little bit, but Bowling Green has proven enough to make me lean them even on the road.
All right. Well, let's keep this Max and lock party going because Kent State's heading into Waldo's. All right. No liquor pitchers. They're going to need a liquor pitcher after the game because let me tell you, Western Michigan is
anyone watching this game is going to need a liquor pitcher after one.
Kalamazoo is going to be rocking for this one as Western Michigan with a big win at Buffalo last week. We knew that line stunk, and now we can jump on these Broncos and buck them. All right. This Kent State bullshit out of here. Western Michigan, you ready for this one? 38-10 final. Let's go. Patty, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on Western Michigan. Kent State has just been so bad all year. You give me the home game and only 17, obviously. Western Michigan, I'll lock it with you.
Yeah, let's go. NC Nick, triple lock?
You know, as much as I was disappointed in some of the Western Michigan games, like the Marshall one, they are 3-0 in MAC play on top of the conference. And I want to say I had them in the MAC championship game this year. So things are looking pretty good there. I'm not going to lock it, but they win, though. They win, they cover.
This guy.
Kent State remains the second to last offense and the worst defense.
Here's Patty.
It's amazing.
Boy.
Who's that?
This is Carson Hance.
Oh God. I mean, I'm at 3/4 right now. I'm at 11 o'clock because I have a slightly left leaning guy there. So not quite midnight. Can never strike midnight. Let's be honest.
Shout out to Weehawk. He's talking about Western Carolina with a big game with Mercer this week. SoCon Classic going on. Go check out that one. Did you see, guys, Cade Bell, the offense coordinator of Pittsburgh, was previously at Western Carolina, where he coached Cole Gonzalez, who threw for over 600 yards in a game this past week. Let's go Catamounts. Let's get that dub. Next up, so that's a double lock, by the way, on Western Michigan. Missouri is heading into Tuscaloosa. Alabama's laying 13.5. I will lay the 13.5 with Alabama. Missouri's not good. They have no business being in the top 25. I don't care how many times Brady Cook goes to the hospital and comes back. This team it's finally going to happen. DeBoer, this is a big time win. I think it's a blowout win. Patty, see what are you doing here?
Oh, DeBoer could really use this one, and I think you're right. That was a miraculous comeback that Auburn gave them, missing chip shot field goals, keeping Missouri in that game. So yeah, at 13.5 is a lot of points, and I don't trust Alabama's offense recently, but I think they'll get it going enough to win at home by 2 touchdowns. So give me Bama.
Double lock?
No, absolutely not. Can't trust Bama right now.
You can do it right here. Nick?
I got news for you, Colby. Alabama's not very good either. So
you're still better than Missouri.
But not by the 13.5 points. And they're putting that line because they want you to take Bama. You know what? I will lock battle you. I'm going to go Missouri here. As long as Cook is healthy. I think he is. He came back in the game, so he's probably good, right? So
let's do a tuck job on this one. Do you think Alabama is better than Texas A&M right now?
No.
Do you think they're very close?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you caught Missouri's 31-point loss at Texas A&M.
Okay.
Do you want to continue with your
tuck jobs?
With your
operation.
operation.
About last week when you locked up Alabama against Tennessee, and Patty C and I were on Tennessee.
No, I didn't lock up that. I just took it. I locked up the week before against South Carolina, and I ate shit.
Well, let me tell you what. I know a tuck job.
I'm going Missouri. I'm taking the points.
It's a huge game. It's a playoff game essentially.
I think Alabama wins, but I don't think by 2 touchdowns.
31-10.
Let me say this, Colby. If you want a what's the Jenner level tuck job, you have to cite more than one game. You have to give us a bunch of results that have common opponents, right? And that is how you do a real tuck job. One game, anyone can lay an egg. So that's why I'm not going to lock Bama, because I think Nick's right. You know, Missouri does keep finding a way to win these games.
Look, it may be a small time tuck job, but a tuck job is a tuck job. All right?
You're still showing. There's a lump there.
This may be a Jamie Lee Curtis, but it can happen. All right. We got a battle. Let's go. Big Dundee with the Tide. Roll Tide. NC Nick saying go Tigers in Mizzou. Folks, want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all of sports: NFL, college football, CFL, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and much, much more. Boost Uber is also upon us, which means you're getting a spooky amount of profit boost and much, much more. And with the NBA tipping off, you got and NBA pick'em entries going all the way to October 27th. They're all will be boosted. Get on over there. You can now use specials and boost on all flex entries as well. So sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. All right. The party continues. Texas Tech, TCU rivalry game. TCU's laying 6.5.
Are you surprised by that?
Yes.
A little bit. I thought it would be like 3.5, 4. So I'm on Texas Tech.
Texas Tech should be favored. I feel like wrong team favored.
TCU with a nice win in Salt Lake City.
It's a coin flip game, man. So you know what? I'm going to ride back on Texas Tech, even if they screwed me last week, but I was hot with them for like 4 weeks in a row before the bye week. I'm going to bet them again. I'm with all right. I'm going to lock up Texas Tech here. Too many points.
Woo, he's locking. This guy is a fucking red raid. Is that Billy Joe Tolliver over there? This guy locking up Texas Tech every week. NC Nick locking up the Red Raiders. I'm on the Red Raiders. I'm just not locking it. Patty, what are you
Okay,
doing
you're
here?
on the Red Raiders. Okay, I thought you were on TCU for a second there. TCU got lost to a bad Houston team. Was in a pretty good fight against a bad Kansas team. Got slapped by the good teams that they played, which is really only one. SMU slapped them. They did beat Utah on the road, which is never easy. But let's be honest, Utah is not the same Utah we've been used to. And Texas Tech has done great this year. By the way, them getting destroyed by Wazoo needs to be in the fucking playoff conversation. Can we just say that?
They need to be. They need to be.
Beating Arizona State, killing North Texas, beating Cincinnati, beating Arizona. Those were all decent teams. I think from a resume standpoint, Texas Tech has proven way more, and I'm way more confident that they'll win this and lock it. So I'm with you, Nick.
Woo! Double
go.
lock. Wow. Impressive. Not touching this one. Don't have a feel for it, but I lean Red Raiders in the points in a rivalry game.
I think your one fan of your stand-up in the chat is asking if you're doing stand-up this week.
Hey, Circle Jerk. Yeah, look, that is my one fan. Shout out to Circle Jerk. Appreciate you. No, I'm not. I'm in the middle of a move. So, yeah. But don't worry. I'll be back out there soon enough. All right.
You should do a little impromptu road trip here, Cole. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't if you're still on that Nightload 69 email chain, you'll get that Circle Jerk when I get back on the road here. All right. Bowling. I'm thinking about doing a tour. Bowling alleys only though. So
what's the
we're
worst
working on
place
that.
you did stand up? Didn't you do stand up in a donut shop one time?
10 a.m. It was a Yum Yum Donuts on La Cienega, and it was a fucking horrible experience.
The hustle
because
is
no
real.
one, if anything, like people hated us, and it wasn't just me; it was every comic on the show. Because you're just trying to get you like morning coffee and donuts. It might have even been like 8 a.m. But anyway, it was quite the experience because it was almost like if you were like blasting a boombox next to someone's speakers, they're trying to like order. They're like, dude, can you fucking turn that down?
I gotta
you know
be at work
mean?
in 5 minutes. Shut the fuck up.
And you're like working on shtick. You're like, let me tell you about FedEx. All right, these bastards. And it's just like, hey, dude, can you turn that down? I'm trying to get a coffee, glazed donut. Anyway,
I saw Colby one time. Colby, you might remember this thing. It was me, Matt, Brett. We came out to LA. We went to some place. It was like on like a pier or some docks close by. And like the room you're supposed to be in, you got bumped and they put you like right in front of like a kitchen. So like there's like loud clanging and like chefs yelling at each other in the background. And you're supposed to listen to this stand up.
That was true. We did. And that room normally kicks ass, by the way. Well, that's the same room I've seen someone's hair catch fire. Like a woman laughed into the candle and had no idea that her hair was on fire while I was on stage. But yeah, that room was a really good room. And for some reason they bumped us. They probably had like, I don't know, probably Pauly Shore was doing a set or something and they bumped us to the kitchen. So there's nothing like performing in front of a guy on Fry. All right. You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you this.
You're like, let me tell you something about pasta. All right.
Dude, your performance at West Side Comedy Theater, which is a good club, lots of good acts come through there. But your choice of material was fucking epic this day. Colby does the shitting in the handicap bathroom routine, and the next comic up was a severely handicapped person.
I did not know that.
That was an awkward transition.
I did not know that, by the way. All right, I was booked on that show, and I came late. I didn't have a chance to talk to the other comics. So, yeah. Anyway, the bowling alley tour will be back. But guys, let's talk about getting pissed on because that's what's going to happen.
Speaking of bathrooms.
Yeah, speaking of bathrooms. All right. The Texas Longhorns. There's a little cute scene with your bottles. I always encourage people to throw bottles. I'm not like these other podcasts that are saying this is a disgusting, despicable display. First off, they're not bottles. because you can't get a bottle at a stadium anymore. Unfortunately, you can't get a bottom. So now you're throwing cans. That's nothing. All right. Yeah. NC Nick's hit me in the head with a full Sprite before. You know what I mean? So let's dial it back a little bit. The pisser, Diego Pavia. They barely beat Ball State. They were taking it light. And now you got the Texas Longhorns who think, okay, life in the SEC, maybe it is a little harder than we thought with Georgia beating the shit out of us, but we're still a top 5 team. And then you go into the construction zone against Diego Piss and Pavia. And I guarantee you, they'll probably say something similar to Alabama calling him an FCS quarterback. And it's going to be so great. Because let me tell you, we play the 18.5, but the money line is hitting here in Nashville because Texas has beat nobody good. Nobody. You hear that? Nobody. And Vanderbilt is a balanced offense. Maybe it sounds crazy. I think they're one of the most balanced offenses in the SEC. I think they're live on the money line. I will take the 18.5. I will sprinkle the money line because I believe the best player on the field is playing for Vanderbilt. Boom. Who's coming with? Who's getting pissed on? Well, we're betting on who's getting pissed on. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
We're not getting pissed on. I think we're holding it while it pisses on somebody else.
That's true. I misspoke. But
right.
Yeah.
Dude, we're a Pavia podcast here, right? I mean, I don't think we need to break this down. We're betting on Vanderbilt. I'm with you. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Diego Pavia was asked the other day, like, what's he want to do in life? He said, I want to be the greatest human being of all time. I looked that up, and one of the big things to be the greatest human of all time is pissing all over Texas. All right. And those Longhorns. That's on there. I think that's rule number 2 in being the greatest human being of all time. Patty C, what are you doing here in Nashville?
I'm curious what Sarkisian has after a big loss like this, whether he can get him motivated or whether he allows it to bite him twice. Vanderbilt, not really great statistically, number 95 offense overall. So tough to say how legit they are, but I do think they're legit. I mean, Virginia Tech's starting to look like a better team, and Vanderbilt really, I think, convincingly beat them, had the game, and then really convincingly beat Alabama. So I think they are a very good team. How is Pavia's health right now?
Well, that's why he took it light last week. That's why NC Nick covered with Ball State. All right.
Yep. Let me throw a stat at you that'll surprise you. What do you think who do you think leads this all-time series?
Oh, I know Vanderbilt does.
8-3. Granted, It's been 96 years since they've played, so it's time to
it's going to be 9-3, and they're going to be wishing they were playing Kansas at Lance Leipold or something after this because they're getting pissed on. All right.
I'm all over Vandy. Let's go.
Triple lock?
No.
Yep.
No.
No, fuck it.
Come on, Patty. It would be off-brand if we don't triple lock this.
Yeah, let's be. I mean, like in honesty, I'm a little worried about Texas coming back. But if Sarkisian is the bitch,
who have they beat? That's good.
That's true too.
Who's the balanced offense they faced?
Very true. Although is Vandy a balanced offense? I mean, I guess they kind of are.
Who were you on last weekend? Oklahoma. I'm sorry, Georgia
Texas. I was on Texas. So
he's a closet Longhorn fan here.
I am not a Longhorns fan here.
He's a closet Longhorn.
You know, I've had a theory for years, NC Nick, that Patty C was hammered with Sarkisian at the bar. Before he got fired at USC. The reason why Sarkisian couldn't make it to practice was he tried
to keep up with me in shotguns.
He was shotgunning Mick Ultras. Right. Yeah. And that's why he sued the university. Right. He sued the university. He thought Patty C was a mole for USC.
He's an alcoholic that can't handle his beer. Let's be honest. Let me say this. Horns down, triple lock it. Let's go.
There we go.
Hello. You play to win the game.
Triple lock on Diego pissing Pavia and the Vanderbilt Commodores. Sprinkle that money line. Let's go. Oregon State is catching 9.5 in Berkeley. Who's going to come drop acid? Cal is the best team to ever suck of all time. They missed what, an 18-yard field goal last week to win the game? Was that it? Or 25-yard? They've missed so many game-winning field goals. I can't remember which one is which. This team is 0-4 in the ACC by a 9-point margin. How the fuck is that possible? They've had missed field goals that cost them the game against Florida State. They had 2 missed field goals in that game that could have gotten the win, right? Nope. Or was it 3? They had the missed field goal against Pitt. They had a 1-point loss to Miami where the refs fucked them. And then last week, just a clear miss after being up 13 entering the 4th. NC State scores 14 in the 4th. Cal drives all the way down there. Chip shot field goal missed. They're nothing more Cal than Cal this year, because I feel like they're very close to being 7-0, but they're 3-4. Now, after all that, give me Oregon State plus 9.5, and I think I can be talked into a lock here because I just don't think Cal can blow out anybody. Patty,
do you think there's a huge home field advantage at Cal Memorial? I know that Oregon State's lost 2 in a row, so a little concerning. Had to go to double overtime with Colorado State to win that one, so they're not playing as well as they were at the beginning of the season. Little worried about Oregon State, but Cal finding ways to lose. But you're right, man. Losing 4 straight games by a total of 8 points, that is the epitome of brutality. But you know what? Maybe Cal gets right at home. I'll go Cal.
Nick?
Oh, no, I'm on the Beavs. I locked it up on the picks.
We should lock
page.
this, right? Let's bet this. Let's
bet
10.5.
Wait, it's 9.5? Wow, that's
I'll still bet it with the Colby. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. Where's where's that? Where the hell is my sound drop?
We should have bet NC State last week. We knew. I mean, win or lose, Cal wasn't going to cover, and we knew they were going to cover. We should have.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Yeah, let's do this week.
Nice Beaver.
We got a double lock on the Oregon State Beavers plus the points. Shout out to Robert Martin in the chat. New Mexico is catching 6.5 at Colorado State. NC Nick, you cashed your win total over on Bronco Mendenhall in New Mexico as they won last week to go to 3 wins, 3-4.
Already cashed Sam Houston too.
I mean, this is one where I actually think New Mexico is the better team. Like watching Colorado State last week, they got up 21-0, but Air Force almost came back and won that thing. Give me 6.5 with New Mexico. And also you should hammer the over on 65.5 because we got to start having a conversation about Jason Beck. So 3 straight, it's year 1 of the Bronco Mendenhall era. Last week, they dropped 50 in Logan at Utah State. The week before, they had 52 against Air Force. The week before that, they had 50 against arch rival New Mexico State.
Maybe ECU should be looking at them.
I swear, this offense is flying high. I'm taking the points. I think it's worth a money line sprinkle. Nick, what are you doing here?
Yep, New Mexico. That's the right side. I'm on it.
Patty?
Yeah, you have to say New Mexico, 3 straight wins, and then their losses were against good teams. Road trips at Arizona, at Auburn, and hosting Fresno, who hasn't looked as good, and even Montana State. What is 8-0 in the FCS? What are they? Are they number 1 right now?
I believe either them or North Dakota State would be. I didn't see this week's top 25 because I've been fucking driving.
A 4-point loss there, so they are turning the corner. Jason Beck. We've been watching him for years. Who is the coach that he kind of mentored under?
Robert Anae.
Yeah. That has been a diverse and highly powered offense for a while now. 3 straight 50-point outputs, like you said. You got to go New Mexico. They're getting it going.
ULM, Patty C, your boys, the pride of the Sun Belt after what they did to JMU. All right. They're heading into Mobile, Alabama, Hancock Whitney Stadium.
I'm going to get ahead of this one. Monroe succeeded Madison in American history, and Monroe topped Madison on the field this year. But revenge actually probably isn't going to get to happen because fucking Georgia Southern. But yeah, I think Monroe, South Alabama though, is favored by 7.
South Alabama beat them 55-7 last year.
I'm buying into Monroe. I'll take the points.
I'm taking Monroe too. All right. I know General Booty hadn't played in weeks, but he's on the roster. That's got to mean something for morale. All right.
What has happened to Fluff Bothwell? He was all over the leaderboards previously. Not so much now.
He's a stud. He's a freshman. All right.
Yeah, he's gonna have ups and downs, Patty. All right.
We're not here for any Fluff Bothwell slander. All right.
Speaking of ups and downs, Colby, you're gonna love this hit that knocked out this idiotic UTEP quarterback. Do you want to see it?
Fantastic. Of course we do. We love hard hits. Let's go.
That's not Pickles, is it?
Pickles. No, that's McConnell. Is that McConnell?
Yeah, Pickles came in for this.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me get it again.
Oh, that looks like it's going to be painful.
Wait, they threw the flag though. Those filthy losers. That's just football. That's good old fashioned football. That you got to learn. I tried to explain this because some schmuck on Twitter that covers the NFL. Oh, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Don't leave your feet. Who are you, Slinging Sammy Ball? Right? Don't leave your feet. Yeah, dude. Did you catch that tweet I tweeted out about like Mahomes? He fakes run it like he's going to run out of bounds and then runs for like a 40-yard run. And shout out to former Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year, Scotty Wackenheim, who also called that out by saying that's just because of the rules. That shit ain't a great play. Look at the defense give up. We got to fix that.
It's kind of like the Kenny. It's kind of like the Kenny Pickett slide.
Yeah, exactly like the Kenny Pickett slide. That's a great comparison. Glad to see him get completely knocked out of the game. And let's go. Let's continue on. That's what you should get for jumping up in the middle of the fucking field. Sorry, you got to be smarter than that. That should be the reward.
Tom Brady,
you do that,
the supposed GOAT, of all quarterbacks, himself said it is not the defense's job to protect the fucking offense. It is your own job to protect yourself. Don't put yourself in a quote. In my opinion, there shouldn't be a defenseless position in football. It is you that puts yourself in a defenseless position. Is there a defenseless position in boxing? Do you get penalized for punching someone when they,
completely
don't cover
agree.
themselves up? It's so stupid.
I don't know how we've gotten to this point where they actually like that's a rule. Like we can't. The guy's jumping up and down like a jackass over there. He deserves to get blasted. All right. Anyway, NC Nick, did you say who'd you say you're on?
What game were we talking about?
South Alabama. You took Fluff Bothwell. ULM.
I'm taking the points with ULM.
All right. Well, Troy is heading into Jonesboro, Arkansas. Where, damn it, you guys might have sold me on Butch Jones. He's 4-3.
Coming around.
I think it's more a reflection of how shitty the Sun Belt is. I'm laying the 7.5. Any stadium with waterfalls has my attention, so I will lay the 7.5. Maybe we get a Danny Tartable sighting at some point, but give me Arkansas State. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I agree. I think Troy is maybe as bad as some of the teams playing tonight. They're going to struggle to score in the double digits here, so I'll go Arkansas State.
Patty C, what are you doing in Jonesboro?
Yeah, Troy's rolling, or not Troy, Arkansas State. So I'm gonna lay the 7.5. Give me the Red Wolves.
Yeah, that's
what were
almost
they
Lockworthy, right?
Were they Redskins in their time?
They were the Indians. They were the Indians. That offended them. All right, it offended the good people of Arkansas. Are you kidding me? Who made that call? I've done. Who made that call? I've done stand up in Arkansas. I am not buying in that was like the enrollment voting that in. That was one person. All right. Anyway, Utah heads into Houston. Houston's catching 3.5. Guys, Willie Fritz is going to win this game. The line is telling you. Give me Houston. I might bet Houston. The line is telling you. And Willie Fritz, this is a game. Fritz got up and beat TCU. Give me Houston plus 3.5. Nick?
I mean, is Utah really that bad? They've lost 3 in a row now. I mean, even last year without rising, they still won close games at home. I'm going to go Utah one more time, I suppose.
Patty C?
Let me say this. 2 very good defenses. Utah number 20, Houston number 25. Isn't that surprising? I think you got to take the under in this one, but I got to go. I don't know. Maybe I'm hard to stop believing in Utah, so I'm going to go Utah again.
All right, we got Patty C's favorite rivalry, Florida State, Miami, 21-point spread. Good God. At this point, though, the guy's going to get through 6 novels. Give me the Seminoles, though, plus 21.
What do you do here? I mean, Florida State's not going to score more than like 17. They can't. That offense is that bad. I got it late, I guess.
No. Give me the points. Is DJU back healthy, or did he quit? Is he just like? Is he like back in Hawaii, where or California, wherever the fuck he's from?
He was on the sidelines in the Duke game in street clothes.
Hey, isn't America amazing? You get paid that money, you're just sitting there. I know he's dinged up with like a thumb injury. He's gonna milk that thing, and I don't blame him. I'd milk that thing forever. Patty, you taking the 21?
I think I am. I mean, I feel like I've had a decent, feel for Miami this year. This game, I don't have a very good feel for because it could be Miami blowing the doors off of FSU. But I feel like because it's a rivalry and because Florida State has the athletes to hang with Miami, I feel like Miami, it's going to be really interesting to see who they play in the playoffs, assuming they make it there. I think if they play Clemson in the ACC championship, they're going to get bodied because Clemson has those huge athletic defensive linemen, and that's the exact thing that Miami can't handle is a dynamic defense. But that is not what they're facing against Florida State. However, Florida State has enough athletes to probably keep it within 21. So I'll take Florida State.
Yeah, I think I'll take Saudi Arabia State too. I don't feel good about it. Don't bet this game. West Virginia, Arizona, the Rich Rod Bowl. This was one of the hardest games for me to pick.
Both teams have been disappointing, haven't they?
It dawned on me that I've yet to hit a bet on West Virginia. I took them against Penn State. I took them against Pitt. Then I said, okay, I'm not going to touch this Albany game. And then I took them. I took Kansas. And then they got that win. And then I took them. I just can't figure them out. They're the hardest team for me to figure out. And their coach is making crazy statements about, well, they had fun tailgating. It's like, so, but you lost every big game. But as the fans I've seen how shit-faced they are tailgating.
Have they had a good time?
Have they had a good time? That's all that matters in life. You had a good time. Arizona's laying 3. Give me Arizona. I don't trust the culture of West Virginia. Like Brown's fired, right? I don't trust the culture of West Virginia right now. So give me Arizona, despite them looking horrible last week. Patty C, what are you doing here?
I have to agree with you. Long road trip for West Virginia. I think Arizona gets the better of them. Fafita's second in the nation in interceptions, so that's a little bit of a concern. But I think Teteroa McMillan might be. What do you put him as in terms of top receivers in the nation?
I think you can argue he's the best. I mean, Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith have come along, but you still got Burden. You still got Travis Hunter. You don't have Elijah Surratt. So
those have got to enter every episode. But yeah, I think it's an interesting. But yeah, West Virginia probably can't galvanize right now because Neil Brown is on the hot seat. A must win for him, but I still think Arizona gets it done at home.
He's fired. He got fired last week.
Probably.
NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, you might be right. I'm going to go Arizona as well.
All right. Utah State's heading into Laramie. What a shit fest. Wyoming's laying 1.5. Laramie, it's good for 2 points. I'll take Wyoming minus 1.5. Both, I mean, this game has got to be, and I love games at War Memorial and Laramie, but both these teams are fucking horrible. Patty C, what are you doing here? Yeah.
Patty,
do we lose them? Hold on, what'd you say?
NC Nick, how about you?
I'll take Utah State.
Oh, I thought you said Nick. Sorry.
Utah State, just a little bit more offense. I don't know.
Patty C, what are you doing here?
No, I'm starting to come around on Wyoming. I don't know if it's the one win in the last that 1-6 record, but I don't know. Home game. I don't believe in Utah State. I'll go Wyoming. That's probably a stupid pick, but whatever.
All right. Well, we got a big one in Camp Randall. Penn State at Wisconsin. Penn State's laying 6.5.
This is huge. This is probably the most important game of the week.
I don't know. I think it's going to be it might be coming up, but this is
there are
huge.
two. There are 2. You're right.
Penn State laid 6.5. I do think Wisconsin. I was telling Patty, see this in the studio. I was like, I can't decide whether they're awesome and they've turned this corner, or is it just they played Purdue, Rutgers, and who was the third team? Northwestern. Like, cause that can really trick you. Like those 3 teams can trick you depending on when you get them. But I'm buying in that they've turned this corner ever since Van Dyke went out, and their running back quit the team. The what was his name? The running back that was starting, it was pretty good.
Malusi?
Yes. I'm taking the points. Penn State may win, but it might be by 3 or 4. Give me the Badgers there on Wisconsin. Nick?
Yeah, I think we said in the offseason, Wisconsin had 3 big home games: Bama, Penn State, Oregon, and they're going to win one of them. It wasn't Bama, but with Wisconsin playing much better now, Penn State is 0-3 ATS in conference games, so it's not like they've been crushing it in Big Ten play. I like the home dog here. Sign me up for Wisconsin.
Patty?
Let me tell you what. We mentioned
Ohio
this
State's
before,
on deck,
but
by
it's
the
worth
way.
repeating. The Wisconsin version. I don't think Penn State has the luxury of looking ahead here. I think they have a super challenge in front of them with Wisconsin, and I think they'll be lucky to walk away with the win. Favored by 6, it's ridiculous. I'm all over Wisconsin, but Penn State does have the number 10 rush defense, and like I was saying, Wisconsin, even though they run the air raid, dairy raid, 86 in passing, 35th in rushing. That's as close to a pass-happy attack as you're going to get in Madison. But still, Penn State is kind of set up to shut down their running attack. But that said, it's still way too many points. So I'm going to go Wisconsin.
All right. And no locks there?
Just a good game. Just a good game.
I'm with you. Folks, want to tell you the college football experience is brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best of the business. That is BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. Yes, you can easily deposit using cryptocurrency, getting lightning fast payouts. And sign up and deposit just $100 and you have a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. What are you doing? Get in on that. Use our link to sign up. You also get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. What a deal. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner. Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. You can get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, props. Copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or you can build your own. That's what I like to do. I don't like to be a follower. I like to get on over there, build my own, have it adjust around what I like. Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop. They also have a slew of stats, research, trend analysis to give you even more betting insight. So what are you doing, folks? Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride. All right, we are back, and hey, Beanick, cover your ears. Michigan State is heading to the Big House to take on Michigan, who refuses to run the triple option, even though they could go undefeated if they did. Michigan State should be favored, guys. The fuck is this line?
Yeah.
Michigan's laying 4. No, Michigan State's better this year, and they're going to prove it because with each giving week, Jonathan Smith and Aiden Childs are getting better and better. Give me Sparty to cover this. I also think they're going to win on the money line. Nick?
I agree. And I think I heard you on the big show mention that playing Iowa the week before. Perfect. I mean, if they can stop Iowa, and Iowa's running back Johnson, I mean, he was basically limited other than the 175-yard touchdown run.
Joe Rossi is a great defensive coordinator. Came over from Minnesota. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm on Sparty here. Give me the points too. Lock it up.
Let's go. Nick? I mean, Patty?
Curious how Tuttle has done recently. I will say this.
I can tell you how he's done recently. Horrible. All right.
Trash.
His most recent performance, what was he? 20 of 32 against Illinois, 208, no touchdowns, 1 interception.
That was in garbage time. Half that shit was in garbage time.
Sacked 5 times, quarterback rating of 22. So, yeah, Michigan earning that number 119 offense. Michigan State not a whole lot better at number 91, but both pretty good defenses. Michigan State 29, Michigan 34. Over under is set at 40.5, so they're expecting a slugfest, but I think it's going to go even uglier than that. And based on that, I'm going to say Michigan State. And guess what? I'm going to say Michigan State money line on the road.
Triple lock?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Love this play here.
I'm in a party, pal.
We got a triple lock on Sparty. Michigan State +4. The big house. Maybe the game of what's that?
Give me a final score on that Michigan State-Michigan game.
19-12.
20-16.
Do you guys have Michigan State or Michigan?
Yeah,
Sure, why
Sparty.
not? Let's go
I said
Sparty.
Sparty's going to win this thing. Yeah.
Party on the money line, on the road.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got left here? Let's bang out these last few ones.
This is the game of the week, NC Nick. LSU at A&M. The winner is probably going to make the college football playoffs, maybe the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
LSU is somehow in the top 10. They did actually look good last week. That was the first time they looked good all season to me.
True.
They're catching 2.5 in College Station, but this is a simple play for me. The home team always wins this game, more so than even North Carolina, Virginia. A&M gets it done. I have a future on A&M to make the play. I guess I have a future on LSU I got futures on both these teams, but I'm on A&M -2.5. I think the better defense prevails at home.
Back to back roadies for LSU too. A&M is definitely the play. I'll lock this one up also.
Yes, Robert Martin 0-6 in College Station as LSU. Patty, what are you doing here?
Garrett Nussmeier has been the number 6 passing quarterback in the nation right now. Texas A&M number 36 passing defense. So I do expect LSU to score their points. However, I'm with you guys. I think A&M is going to cover 2.5 on the road. So give me the Aggies.
Nick, you were locking this one?
I am. Anybody coming with me?
It's tempting. I do think it's a good bet. It's a good bet, but
fringe
I lock
for
too
me.
much.
Fringe.
Anybody
NC
in the
Nick.
chat coming with me?
There you go. NC Nick, lock it up. He's NC Nick saying, gig 'em. Get you some overalls, NC Nick. Let's go. Auburn is heading into the Commonwealth Stadium there in Lexington, Kentucky. Kentucky's laid 2.5. I ate shit with Kentucky last week. I am not going back to the well as far as a wager, but I will lay the 2.5 because Auburn's fucking horrible and it's fucking hilarious. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I was on Florida last week, so I was right to fade Kentucky a week ago, but I'm going to jump back on Kentucky at home in this one. They win, they cover.
Patty?
I've never seen a team more due than this Auburn team. Granted, it's on the road. It's the second end of a back-to-back road. Really, it's 3 straight road games if you include the bye week for Auburn. So tough schedule there. Tough spot to play, but I feel like they're due, man. I got to go Auburn, but I don't have a great feel because Kentucky could easily get this.
All right, next we got the Battle of the Valley, which goes back over 100 years, I believe, or right around 100 years. San Jose State heading into Fresno, California. This game's on True TV. Enjoy what's that comedy show where there are a bunch of comics talking about like they just play videos of shit. It's almost like Mystery Science Theater.
I don't know.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. San Jose State's at Fresno, though. Intriguing game to me. Tim Skipper, big win for Fresno a week ago. They're laying 4.5. I'm just going to trust the home crowd here. I'm going to lay the 4.5. This is a fun game, though. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm going to say coin flip game, and Fresno should only be favored by 3. So if I'm getting an extra 1.5, I'll take it.
Patty?
Yeah, I'm all over San Jose State, and I think maybe the leaving to the Pac-12 is a factor here that motivates San Jose State to get one before this parts. I don't know if they're going to keep playing, but this has been a long rivalry. San Jose State gets it done before Fresno leaves.
There we go. All right. Says Impractical Jokers. Yes, that's it. That's the one I'm talking about. Here's a lock for you.
You guys find that show funny?
No, I don't actually. But
at times they have their moments.
One time, a lady was cutting my hair, and she brought that show. I was like, "Oh, it's like I don't find that show funny." She's like, "Oh, it's like my favorite show." It was really awkward.
She said, "I don't find your haircut funny either." Right?
Then I think she proceeded to give me a bad haircut.
I don't find it funny personally, but you know what I do find funny is Duke 6-1. SMU is going to fuck up Duke. I will lay the 11.5 with this phony ass Duke team.
No,
lay it. Ride the pony. You know, presidents of both these schools have been to Epstein Island. I guarantee you. NC Nick, what are you doing here at Wallace Wade Stadium?
Does Duke basketball start 6-1 this year? I don't know. This game scares me as a Duke fan. But it is a home game. Duke's defense is
a huge game in conference, by the way.
SMU due for a little bit of a clunker, maybe. In the second half, they weren't moving the ball as much as they were in the first half last week. I'm going to go Duke.
Patty?
Kevin James ratcheting it up. First game, 140 passing yards, with them 137. And then after that, 254, 281, 322 against Stanford. So, and that's just passing. Rushing, what? He's had over 100 once. So he's one of the most mobile quarterbacks. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Jalen Milroe with this rushing. So I do think, however, that's way too many points. So I'm going to go Duke at home.
I'm sorry. I'm just enjoying the chat.
She's a stylist. Okay.
What is it?
He said it's just I love Patty C reads the chat like a 90-year-old person, like reading the fucking newspaper.
Well, you understand I have these fucking sunglasses on, so I got like
what did he
Can the chat use all caps so Patty can see it?
All right. Look, hold on, wait. Where is this? Patty C, you're on Duke?
I'm on Duke. I think even though SMU has been really impressive, I have found Duke pretty darn impressive. Even if I think Nick has traditionally faded Duke a lot. You know, we've called him out on this in previous seasons where he's like, and it's a smart move. As a
the
JMU
last 2
guy,
years with Cutcliffe, I was betting against Duke almost every week in that awful defense. So
yeah,
wow,
yeah,
maybe you need
to go back a few years, but yeah.
Oh,
and I feel like
what's that?
I feel like that wasn't right every week. In the weeks that I bet on Duke and I was right, I called you out on it. And this is another one. So Duke's gonna get this done.
Yeah, I think NC Nick
Duke too.
I think NC Nick did take
you're
Duke
on SMU
against
Colby.
Charlotte.
Okay.
I locked up SMU. This is easy money. One of the best plays of the weekend. Come on now. We got the Sunflower Showdown Saturday night, folks. And let me tell you, when I see the Jayhawks getting 10.5 points, I think that's a little disrespectful. Lance Leipold, I understand that Kansas is 2-5, but they're 5 losses by a combined 15 or 16 points. Shout out to Weehawk, who I know is a big Jayhawk fan. And he's quick to mention that KU has had a lead in each of their games in the fourth quarter. I'm with you, Weehawk. I think Kansas plus the 10.5 is the play. I also like sprinkling the plus 300 on the money line. I don't think this Kansas State team's that good. Now, I will say that was the most impressive I saw them last week. But part of that might be after West Virginia's Neil Brown's comments about basically saying, I feel like this team's all over the place in Morgantown. So I think Kansas is. Nick, what are you doing here?
I agree. I mean, Kansas really needed that bye week. And what does a good coach do? He uses that to his full advantage. They come out, they beat Houston 42-14. This is a team, Patty, that was not as bad as their record. It was July or August. Weehawk clipped that. He put it on X a couple yesterday or today or something. When I made that bold prediction that Kansas was going to beat Kansas State, I was at some random hotel in Maryland. Well, I'm back at some random hotel in Maryland, so it's just meant to be. God damn it! Let's go, Kansas. Let's lock it up.
Yeah, I'm with you, Patty. I'm locking this too. Patty, see what are you doing here?
I don't know. DJ Giddens has been going off all year. what is he, number 8, 7, 8 in the nation rushing yards. Kansas 73 on rushing defense. So I feel like TJ Giddens will get his. And I think it'll be a late cover by K-State at home.
Wow. So just a double lock for me and NC Nick on the Jayhawks. Let's go.
I don't know if you got that text, but shout out to our boy Marcus T. I don't know if he's listening right now, but mentioning it. That's one of Hernan's greatest running backs. So shout out to the homies.
Go into the BYU UCF game. Shout out to Marcus. Hell of a good guy. And I wonder who's rooting for in that way. Come on, you gotta be UCF, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna go to the game and you don't have a dog in the race, I feel like you gotta. Cincinnati, Colorado, suddenly a huge game, NC Nick.
Yeah,
I mean,
surprisingly, right?
This is kind of like the losers probably, I guess, not all the way out eliminated because Colorado only has one loss in conference. Cincinnati only has one loss in conference. 2 could probably still get you there, but it's pretty damn close to an elimination game. Bearcats heading into Boulder. Colorado, this line has jumped up to 5.5. This was at like 4 early in the week. I'm still on the Buffs, but I wouldn't go much further. Colorado 28, Cincinnati 21. Final score. Patty C, what are you doing here with your boys?
Look, I hate to say it, but I think Colorado's dynamic enough that it's going to give Cincy some trouble. 88 pass defense. Shadur Sanders, obviously, number 5 in passing yards, number 5 in passing touchdowns. If he has a huge game, it might put him in back in the Heisman picture. So I think I got to roll Colorado. How does primetime get the primetime slot every week? Is that Mountain West doing that? Is that ESPN doing that?
That's them delivering like 10 million views. So they're like, hey, let's keep putting this show on.
Yeah, that's true.
Funny how that works. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I like Colorado, guys, and at home at night, you could talk me into a lock also.
Let's go. Double? Patty C, you coming with?
No. Look, okay. Cincinnati has played pretty good football. They should be 6-1, and they maybe should be 7-0. Cincinnati has, and I want to ask Nick about that. Year 2, obviously you were right. Year 1, no one got to 9 wins, and I'm not even sure anyone out of the 4 teams. I mean, shoot, BYU's 7-0 right now.
The most was UCF had 6 last year, I think.
Yeah. So, but all that to say, I think that was just a down year for all those teams. Maybe it was the transition that they were ready for, but I just think that they just all happen to have a down year. I think we're getting a better look of how those teams will fare against Big 12 competition, and they all stack up pretty well.
Well, Cincinnati is breaking in a new coach, much like Houston is this year. BYU just had a case of Keaton Slovis, which will take you out. We've seen that.
Cincinnati had a case of Emory Jones, which will take you out too.
That's true. That's true. I remember that I was reading something about they came back from World War I. This guy got a case of Emory Jones. Took him out, man. Took him out.
All right, what we got? 2 games left. Let's
2 games left. Washington State. John Mateer is the greatest human since Diego Pavia. John Mateer is a fucking in fantasy, he's just an autoplay.
Yeah.
He throws for 250 and runs for 7 touchdowns every week. It's just insane. Washington State's laid 14.5 at the snapper. Nobody goes into the snapper unless it's John Mateer. I'm going to lay the 14.5. Nick?
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm on Wazoo here.
Patty?
Yeah, I don't know. That hook is a little bit scary, but I'll go Wazoo. Mateer responsible for 24 touchdowns. That's 3 behind Cam Ward for number 1 in the nation. So Mateer definitely in that Heisman conversation. If he lights it up, maybe he vaults himself up into the top 5 there. Maybe gets an invite to New York, especially if they keep winning. So I will go Wazoo to cover 14.5.
All right, final game on the slate. The Wolfpack of Nevada. It's a hard ticket for them.
It's a hard ticket to Hawaii. It's not paradise all the time.
Nevada's laying 1 at Hawai'i, and I think Nevada's the better team. The only concern I have is what Brendan Lewis, their quarterback's questionable. Whatever, that could be a blessing in disguise. I will lay the 1 with the Wolfpack. I think they're a better team right now. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I agree. Nevada's playing a close game with pretty much everybody, including teams that are better than Hawai'i, like Fresno, like San Jose State. They lost both of them by what? By 3 points and by 4 points. I think they get right here on the island. Give me Nevada.
Patty?
Never fade Chang at the Ching. That's a motto I live by. No, look, I agree with you guys. The only 2 wins against have been against FCS competition for Hawai'i in Delaware State and Northern Iowa. Nevada is the better team, and they will win on the road. So give me Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a nice little late night game there. All right, folks, that is our show. And subscribe, youtube.com/the college experience. Get on over there. Also, Spotify 5 stars. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC__NICK. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. Patty C's on Twitter at Patty C831. Follow. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. All that good stuff. Look, we'll be back with I'm on the road, so I'm trying to get some shows done. We know we got some stuff going. And shout out to Weehawk. Yeah, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And yeah, shout out to All Right giving us $20. Great show, guys. We are grateful. All Right's the man. Yeah, like
all the homies.
Yeah, we got the DFS show. We're still trying to get the DFS show. The bombs. Me and the detective have been talking. What's up, Nick?
Quick top plays like Stefan's asking for. Maybe like 2 each, real quick.
Let's fire. What's yours?
I will go Vandy and Minnesota.
Patty, do you know yours? Because I think.
Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna call sorting. Let me see what my locks are. Okay, I got anything that I love. Indiana, I love. So throw that out there. I love Texas Tech, and I also really like Minnesota, also USC. But if I had to give you 2, I would say Indiana and let's say USC.
It's really hard breaking it down to 2 to me, but I will say SMU is 1. At 2, man, there's a lot that I like. And I forgot about that classic Northeasterner Wagner and UMass. I just don't see a line on it yet. You're lucky, NC Nick. You're lucky there. Give me Western Michigan and Vanderbilt, with SMU being 3rd. I'm giving you 3. All right. Folks, till next time. Like I said, we're going to try to jam out all those episodes this week. I apologize.
Shout out to Jerry Harvey in the chat.
Wow.
We try not to go that hard, but yeah, we're probably a little guilty of that.
What?
Oops. Oh well, it happens.
Wait, I'm so confused. Did we say something?
I made one little comment like 2 hours ago about Mac Brown. They're gonna put him out to pasture like they did Joe Biden. Come on,
come on, Jerry.
It's all fun. Come on,
Jerry. We like to shit on everybody. I'd be the first. Yeah. I'd be the first to meet Don Trump and shit on him for not as racist remarks as you allude to, but for him basically destroying the USFL. I really was a big fan back in the day, and I'm still a little upset about that. Yeah. So, buddy, when you're out there in public, you're open territory. I'm sorry, he fell off a fucking bike. It's funny. All right?
You made that.
It's funny. If you don't find that funny, Jerry, then it's on you, brother. It's on you, man.
None of us really give a fuck. Cheers.
Wrap this up. Cheers to Jerry also.
All right. Till next time, folks. This is the College Football Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can get run and shoot.